It's Saturday Night Football live on PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports. Sean Hennessy here with you, joined alongside me, Jason Patterson. Welcome to the PlayOnSports.com pregame show. Folks, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It's the Jesuit Marauders taking on the Christian Brothers Falcons. It's the Holy Bowl, the biggest football game in the city, the town, the area of Sacramento here tonight. Jason, what an atmosphere we have here at the campus of Sacramento City College. We're broadcasting to you live from Hughes Stadium. Easily 15,000 in attendance here tonight. Both these teams mark their calendars, usually in week 3, week 4 for this particular matchup. It doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yeah, I agree. They come out in the masses here for this Holy Bowl. It's a big sponsorship for both schools. Easily packed the whole stadium. I believe somewhere around 16,000 people here in the stadium tonight. I know it took me over an hour just to get through the parking lot, so obviously everybody's here ready to enjoy a nice ball game between the Falcons and the Marauders.
I mean, to give you an idea, folks, you walk up into the stadium, you see people easily a mile out walking with their kids, bringing in water bottles. It's such an electric atmosphere that we have here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Jesuit comes into this matchup undefeated. They are 2-0. They knocked off El Camino last week. Christian Brothers, they actually have played one more game over Jesuit. They are 3-0. And really, if you take a look at Christian Brothers, Jason, they have outscored their opponents 90-34 coming into this matchup. But if you talk to a lot of the pollsters here in Sacramento, you talk to a lot of the media people, they'll tell you that Jesuit is the heavy favorite in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. They're easily just a powerhouse here in the area. Christian Brothers, like you said, has blown out a couple of people, just done overall just great offensive work. But I believe tonight will be their first test of the year. There's a reason why there's 16,000 people here to watch this game tonight. So we'll see how the Marauders do to hold up their end of the bargain, because everybody, I'd say they definitely are the favorite to win here tonight.
Head coach Marlon Blanton will lead Jesuit out onto the field. They are wearing the white uniforms with the red helmets. They are the visiting team. And for the Christian Brothers School, led by head coach George Petrosans, they are wearing the all-blue uniforms with the blue helmets down on the field. We're just about 2-3 minutes away from the opening kickoff here at Sacramento City College. On the line, well, it's bragging rights, folks. It's the Holy Bowl. To be exact, it's Holy Bowl 43. Jesuit actually leads the series by 25 wins to 17 wins compared to Christian Brothers. So, Jason, you take a look at these two teams. Let's start with Jesuit real quick here. Their passing offense, it's really more of a rushing game when you talk about them, because their passing offense, you look at their star quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck, they've only passed the ball 29 times on the season. They're definitely more of a rushing, ground and pound type of offense.
Yeah, they like to run a lot of misdirection, play action passes, a lot of fake dives to a couple end arounds. Just a lot of constant moving on the offensive line, a lot of motion. Thomas Spurbeck is easily one of the better quarterbacks I've seen in the area. I just covered him in a game last week. He played the El Camino Eagles, and he ended up giving the game-winning run-in with 44 seconds to take the W home for the Marauders. Easily a very nice game that I watched last week, and he's going to come in here at the big stadium at Hughes Stadium. Always nice to be a kid and come out and play on a college stadium field. The atmosphere is always nice. We got the captains walking out for the coin toss right now, so I'm pretty excited about this one.
For Jesuit, folks, expect a split-back style, 2-wide receiver offensive formation. That's what they primarily use. Now you switch sides, you go to Christian Brothers. They're a no-huddle, fast-paced offense. What can the fans expect here tonight, Jason, when the Christian Brothers offense takes the field? I
mean, Christian Brothers, I've talked to a couple of the kids that go to Christian Brothers. They love to play the Jesuit Marauders. These kids are going to come out and give all their heart tonight. They love to go home and tell everybody they beat Jesuit. It's a big rivalry here in Sacramento. Anybody who even follows any kind of high school sports knows about Jesuit versus Christian Brothers in the Holy Bowl.
Jesuit 2-0, Christian Brothers 3-0. Folks, that's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com pregame show. When we come back, we'll kick things off. It's Holy Bowl 43 coming up next on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Don't go anywhere. Oli Bowl 43 coming to you live from Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Sean Hennessy here with you folks, joined alongside me, Jason Patterson. What a matchup we've got for you this Saturday night. It's the Jesuit Marauders taking on the Christian Brothers Falcons. What a game we have in store for you. Over 15,000 here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. The fans have packed in. Jesuit comes into this matchup 2-0. Christian Brothers 3-0 on the season. Jason, some big news that we saw down on the field as the captains were coming together. A big injury update. Number 20, James Avila Ellington, the leading rusher for Jesuit, not suited up for this matchup.
Yeah, they came out to go do the coin toss, and he had a walking boot on, which was also I'd say it's a big, maybe not a huge, but definitely it's going to be something that they notice here in the backfield. He was a big workhorse for them last week against the El Camino Eagles. We'll see what happens here with their backup, number 34, Connor Frey, coming back in to cover for Avila Ellington.
Jesuit will be kicking off to start the ball game, going right to left on your screen. They're wearing the white uniforms with the red and yellow trim. On the left side of your screen, receiving the football will be the Christian Brothers Falcons, wearing the all-blue uniforms. Looks an awful lot like Boise State. They're going left to right. Back deep, returning the ball will be Amari Gray, and accompanying him will also be Jalen Walker. Kicking off for Jesuit will be Andrew Endicott. 15,000 on their feet. We're underway from Sacramento. Endicott boots it dead middle, end over end, right into the back of the end zone, and that'll be an automatic touchback.
Yeah, that was a boot there by Endicott.
So here comes the Christian Brothers offense, led by senior quarterback Caden Noon, Mason Staley in the backfield, Jalen Walker, the wide receiver, Omari Gray, also another flanker, and then Zachary Brooks will occasionally come in at the slot receiver position. Hayden Jones, the tight end, Johnson, Leahy, Rose, Heatham, and Cook make up the offensive line. Christian Brothers will start their first offensive series on their own 20-yard line. Going left to right on your screen. And we have whistles on the very first play of the ball game.
Yeah, looks like they're motioning for false start on the offense there.
Temperature still pretty warm here this evening. It's almost 8 o'clock on the West Coast, around 88 degrees at kickoff.
We did have a false start on the Christian Brothers Falcons there on that last play.
Pushing back 5 yards, that makes it first down and 15. Ball on the Christian Brothers' own 15-yard line. This is Noon, handing it off up the middle. Tailbacks, takes it ahead, lowers his shoulder, and picks up a couple on the ground. Expect to see a quick pace offense for Christian Brothers, a no-huddle look. They really spread the ball out. Right there on the carry was number 43, Austin Gillen. Noon checks it over to the Christian Brothers sideline, gets the play, snaps his hand down. It'll be second down and 11. This is Gillen once again, going left side, tied up at the line of scrimmage. He'll get maybe a yard. It's going to bring up third down and 10.
Yeah, that was very good by the Jesuit Marauders defense there to slide down, pick up that running back, didn't let him get through any holes, and took him down for a no gain.
Third down and 10 for Christian Brothers, moving left to right, wearing the all-blue uniforms. Ball spotted on the left hash mark. We're in the first quarter, 11 minutes and 3 seconds marching away. No score early on. Defensive lineman jumped for Jesuit, I beg your pardon. That was Malcolm Harvey who got a little trigger happy, and that may cost Jesuit 5 yards.
Yeah, Sean, last week when I covered the El Camino Jesuit game, we've seen a couple of false start penalties from Malcolm Harvey, and obviously he still hasn't learned how to wait for that ball to be snapped. He's still listening instead of watching.
Caden Noon barking out the calls, trying to get that defensive line to move. Harvey is on the right side of that defensive line. It'll bring up third down and 5. Noon rolls out to the near side, tucks the ball, goes middle. Tackled by 3 defenders, but he's very close to the first down marker. He may have got enough for the first down. Officials move the chains, and they indicate, yes, indeed it was. A 6-yard gain on the ground for quarterback Caden Noon. Noon lined up in the shotgun. He's got Gillen on his left hip pocket. 3 wide receivers over towards his left side. Right hash mark, first and 10. Nothing to his left, rolls out towards the right, and he's tied up and gets thrown down. Absolutely nowhere to go. Casey Riley with the sack.
Yeah, that was a very nice play by Riley. He got to the outside, got off his block, was able to take the quarterback down as he was trying to get to the outside to scamper for a couple of yards.
10 minutes and 8 seconds ticking away here in the first quarter. Loss of 3 on the sack brings up 2nd down and 13. Jalen Walker, the wide receiver, will line up on the left side. He is right towards the left tackle, Vinny Johnson. Keep your eye on Johnson, folks. Verbally committed to Iowa State. 2nd down and 13. Noon throwing middle. That ball's incomplete. Looking for Jalen Walker, who just ran a nice little seam route right there, Jason, but that ball was well overthrown.
Yeah, Noon just happened to lead his receiver just a little bit too much. Maybe thought he had a little bit of extra steps on the defensive back. Just, first quarter jitters here in front of a big, huge crowd, 15,000 plus people. Yeah, easily you'll see that in the first quarter.
And we can't overemphasize the crowd here. Easily 15,000 people.
Easily.
Not your average high school football game, being Holy Bowl 43. That one goes incomplete. Noon looking for Walker once again as he just came in on a nice little 2-yard in route, but that was well out his ankles. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, the Jesuit Marauders had very nice penetration there. Riley got in the backfield again, number 71. Affected that quarterback's vision, and he just threw one into the ground there, just trying to get rid of it.
Kelly and Heath back deep to return the ball. They stand at their own 30-yard line. On to punt it away is big man number 72 for Christian Brothers. That's Justin Capello, and that one rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, that was just a little pooch kick. It looks like he kind of missed it, maybe hit the laces or something. He got I'd say he netted about 20, 25 yards, maybe 30 tops on that kick.
So Jesuit will start their first offensive series of Holy Bowl 43 on their own 43-yard line. They're moving right to left on your screen, left hash mark, wearing the all-white uniforms with the red helmets and yellow trim. Taking a look at Christian Brothers' defensive front, they run a 3-4, and they really like to put a lot of pressure on that offensive line. Expect them to bring the inside backers every now and then. 1st and 10 for Jesuit. Split backs behind the quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck, directly under center. Line goes down. Takes the snap. Play action. Here's a pass lining up, looking for the screen. Nothing. Finally throws it downfield, and that one's incomplete. He was looking for his target, Andrew Hoy, but that was thrown behind him.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Spurbeck to keep his feet moving. Made a couple people miss. If he can keep that ball in his hands and plant his feet and make that throw, that's easily a 1st down. He had his wide receiver wide open across the middle.
9 minutes, 21 seconds into the first quarter. We are here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. No score between Jesuit and Christian Brothers. Marauders with the football, going right to left. 2nd down and 10 following the incomplete pass. Handoff, this one goes left side. Ball carrier takes it out past the 50-yard line. Count that for a gain of 7. Going to bring up 3rd down.
That was Ben Parietti on the carry there for the Marauders.
Benjamin Parietti, a name that we're probably going to be calling an awful lot here tonight. Jason, you mentioned during that El Camino game, the kid got a bulk of the carry. He's one of those players that the coaching staff and the seniors especially look up to in that backfield.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the injury to Avila Ellington. We're going to definitely hear Parietti's name quite a lot here tonight.
3rd down and 3 for the Marauders on the 50-yard line, going right to left. They have the ball on the left hash mark. Spurbeck directly under center. Handoff to the fullback. Bulls ahead and picks up a 1st down. Needed 3. That one's going to go for a gain close to 5. Move the chains.
Just a nice little smash mouth football by the Marauders there, making sure they get the 1st down. It's a game of inches, and they took advantage of that and got those few inches they needed to get the 1st.
How about Spurbeck going for that pass play on the first play of the game? Here we are thinking and talking during the pregame show that this team is probably 70% run, 30% pass, and they try to trick the defense early on.
Yeah, maybe they probably know that Christian Brothers has been watching quite a bit of film on him, so they wanted to go out and maybe try to trick him early.
Marauders with the football. 1st and 10 from the Falcon 46. Tackled right away and nowhere to go. That's Zachary Evertson coming up with the tackle for a gain of 2.
That was 34, Connor Frey on the carry. That's the guy that's filling in for Avila Ellington. Let's see how he does. He got a couple yards on his first carry of the night. Not too bad. Let's see if they keep giving him the ball.
Evertson, a junior, 6'1", 205 pounds, lined up on the right side of that defensive line. Outside linebackers right up along the line of scrimmage. Pass play going far side. That one is caught. That's Kelly. Kelly tries to fall forward, and he does. He picks up a 1st down as he's close to the 30.
Yeah, that was a very nice route ran by Devin Kelly. He got himself open, and Thomas Spurbeck found his receiver for the first down. Very nice play by the Marauders.
Jesuit moving the ball nicely here on their opening drive of Holy Bowl 43. Jesuit leads the all-time series, 25 wins. Christian Brothers with 17 wins. Jesuit actually has 2 wins in a row. They're shooting for 3. The last win for Christian Brothers came back in 2009. Spurbeck hands it off to the ball carrier, and that's Parietti diving forward with his right hand. You think he's going to get tied up for a gain of maybe 4 or 5. Instead, he gets close to 7 to 8.
Yeah, that's just all about keeping your feet moving, keeping your head down, driving for that first down marker. That was a good run by Parietti.
2nd down and 3. Jesuit moving the ball nicely. As mentioned, they have it on the Falcon 24-yard line. 7 minutes remaining in the first quarter. No score for either team. Ball carrier completely upended. Logan Snyder with the hit.
Yeah, what a hit there. You even heard the crowd with a nice come over the crowd. It was a nice hit.
I mean, Logan Snyder completely upended him, picking the ball carrier up by the rear and slamming him down to the turf.
Yeah, that was very, very nice. Definitely got this crowd into it, especially that's exactly what they need here with a packed crowd. Just get the momentum on their side and keep the crowd up on their feet.
Marauders with the football, going right to left. They have it on the Falcon 23-yard line. 3rd down. Handoff goes left side, tackled in the backfield for a minimal gain. That was Kendall Williams with the tackle, and it looks like it's going to be a yard shy of the first down marker. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, let's see what they do here on 4th down. I watched Jesuit, like I said again last week. They definitely like to go for it on 4th down. Let's see what happens here.
Avila Ellington injured, the leading rusher for the Marauders, not in this football game. Number 34, Connor Frey, replaces him. He is in the backfield. To Frey's right is Parietti. 4th down and 2. Play action. Spurbeck throws downfield, nearly intercepted, in and out of the linebacker's hands. Deflecting that ball was Eric Bloomquist, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, very nice by the Christian Brothers Falcons to get out there, get his hand on the ball, knock that down, prevent them from getting that first down. Very good job by the Falcons.
Both teams' offenses with a chance to show what they're made of here early on the first quarter. Christian Brothers punts it away after just 7 plays, and right there, Jesuit goes 9 plays and turns the ball over on downs on a 4th and 2. 5 minutes, 43 seconds left here in the opening quarter of Holy Bowl 43. What a packed crowd we have here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Easily 15,000 on hand. Whistles blow, and there's a timeout call down on the field, and that will be called by Christian Brothers. They use their first timeout of the first half. No score here with 5 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first quarter. You're tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Jason Patterson to my right. I'm Sean Hennessy bringing you the play-by-play action live here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Packed house here tonight for Holy Bowl 43. It's Jesuit versus Christian Brothers. As mentioned earlier on, Christian Brothers has not won this Holy Bowl matchup since 2009. So in a way, Jason, they feel like they're due. They have something to prove here tonight, especially for the seniors.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely out here trying to get that last win before they go on to college.
Noon from the shotgun, has a back to his left pocket. Ball carrier takes it. It pops loose. There's a fumble on the field, and Jesuit is signaling they have the football. We'll wait and see. The officials come together. No. A Falcon jumped on it, and actually it's going to go for a gain of 2, but early on we see that ball pop loose. Yeah,
that's definitely not a good sign for the Falcons. They're going to have to keep 2 hands on that football. They definitely don't need to turn over deep in their own side of the field. That would not be good with this explosive Jesuit offense.
Falcons going left to right on your screen. They have the ball on their left hash mark. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 on their own 25. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. This will be the quarterback, Caden Noon, keeping it himself, tackled by at least 3 defenders. He'll get a gain of 4. So about 4, maybe 5 yards on the ground. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for Christian Brothers. A couple substitutions, players moving out. Remember, folks, they run this quick style offense, no huddle. They like to spread the ball out. Expect to see a lot of plays from the shotgun. Noon switches it up now. He has the tailback lined up to his right side. That's Mason Staley. Third down. Noon pump fakes towards the far side. Now he gets rid of it, looking for a target. Incomplete pass. He had a man down the field, but it was well overthrown. It'll bring up fourth down, intended for Omari Gray.
Yeah, that was good penetration by the Marauders defense. Number 50, Jacob Rice. He got in there, affected the quarterback. The quarterback just tried to throw one up for his wide receiver, ended up leading him a little bit too far out of bounds, and just overthrew his wide receiver. I'd say that was all because of number 50 getting in the backfield. Again, that's number 50, Jacob Rice, for the Marauders, who got in there and affected that pass.
Devin Kelly and Steve Heath back deep to return the ball. On comes the punt team. A high snap to the punter. The punter bobbles it. It's loose. Capello cannot field it, and he finally does at the 10-yard line. What a huge special teams mistake by Christian Brothers, as Jesuit will now have the ball on the Falcon 10.
Yeah, they're looking like the Oakland Raiders on Monday night there, who can't get the punter their ball. That's one thing that, obviously, even in the NFL, that's one thing you got to do is get your punter the ball. That was number 10, Matthew Coyle, for the Marauders, who got back there and fell on top of the punter and got the ball in very good field position for the Marauders here on their second drive of the night.
The Marauders will get the football. Extraordinary field position here, folks. They're going to have it on the Falcon 10-yard line. Right hash mark moving right to left. Jesuit wearing the all-white uniforms with the red lettering and the yellow trim. First and goal. Spurbeck barks out the calls, hands it off straight ahead for a small gain. Defense sniffed it out. And what a turn of events right there, Jason, as we have second down upcoming. Just when you think Christian Brothers is about to get a decent punt away and maybe make it a field position battle, it's a high snap, and the punter, Justin Capello, could not bring that ball down.
Yeah, that's just a big mistake for the Christian Brothers. I can't stress that enough. You got to get your punter the ball. Special teams is a big thing here when you're trying to do a position battle game.
Spurbeck back to the offensive line. Second and goal from the 8-yard line. Option play towards the far side. I beg your pardon, right up the middle. QB keeper, he takes it for a gain of maybe 3. It's going to bring up third and goal.
One thing I have noticed about this Christian Brothers defense is they are not allowing most of the runs that I've seen work for the Jesuit Marauders last week against the El Camino Eagles. They're sticking in there. They're filling their gaps nicely, and they're taking them down for minimal gains. Doing pretty good on the defense, I'd say, by the Christian Brothers Falcons.
Keep your eye on Benjamin Parietti. He leads the team in rushing yardage at 165 yards. He has 3 rushing touchdowns. Spurbeck's also a heck of a runner too, folks. Don't count him out. He actually has 177 on the ground. Third and goal. Spurbeck tries to go to the far pylon. Can he hit it? He does. Into the far corner. And Jesuit strikes first. Touchdown from Thomas Spurbeck.
Yeah, that looked a whole lot like the play that they won the game on last week against the Eagles. The coach, we actually brought Thomas Spurbeck up in the booth for a play of the game, and he said that the coach told him to just make the look. If he's seen somebody open, throw it. If not, pull it down and run. And obviously, they got a lot of confidence in that kid to tell him that with the game in his hands. And it shows here in the first quarter. They get the first touchdown of the night on a nice run by Thomas Spurbeck.
How about that? How about that, Jason? Just 3 plays. Thomas Spurbeck into the far corner. He runs just inside of the near pylon as the PAT is up and good by Andrew Endicott. And just like that, Jesuit has a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. 2:57 left in the first quarter. 4-yard rushing touchdown for Thomas Spurbeck. You're tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Play on Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at Play on Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Special teams hurt the Falcons big time on that last series. They line up to punt the ball away. Justin Capello could not bring the ball in. He's tackled around his own 10-yard line. Jesuit takes over and goes 3 plays. On the final play, Thomas Spurbeck, the quarterback, rushed the ball into the end zone from 4 yards out. PAT good. Jesuit takes an early 7-0 lead.
Yeah, it's always bad news if you got a quarterback back there who can outrun your whole defensive line. They look like they had him in the backfield trapped for a loss, and he just turned on those jets and got to that pylon there and scored that touchdown.
Walker and Gray back deep to return the kick. Endicott is the kickoff kicker for Jesuit.
It's like Sebastian Janikowski-like.
Takes that big first step. And that one goes well out of bounds. An absolute bomb by Endicott. And Christian Brothers will start on their own 20.
I'm telling you, he's kicking from the 40 too. That's not an easy kick for a high school kid. He's definitely keep an eye out him for coming Saturdays on your TV in college sports. He'll be easily kicking for some college here coming up shortly.
We're in the first quarter. Christian Brothers has had the ball on 2 previous offensive series. The first one resulted in a punt, and technically that last offensive series, even though they were lined up to punt, they were tackled, so it results as a turnover on downs. The punt was actually never executed. 1st and 10 for the Falcons, moving left to right. They have it at their own 20 in between the hashes. This is the quarterback, Caden Noon, tackled right away at the 23-yard line, and coming up and delivering the first hit was Dolan Jones. 2nd down upcoming.
Yeah, very nice play again by the Marauders. They're getting very good penetration, not letting the quarterback or the running backs get to the outside. They're getting out there. They're beating them to the sidelines and getting tackles for minimal gains.
Noon with a 2-yard gain on the previous play. 2nd down and 8 for the Falcons on their own 22. 2 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first. Noon looking near side. Quick slant, nearly intercepted. The linebacker coming over at the last second and putting his head up. Matthew Turnin got his right hand in there and batted the ball down. 3rd down.
That was very nice play by Turnin to get his hand out. I'd also like to point out Trent Terra in the backfield, who's pressuring the quarterback. The combo of 51 and 41 for the Marauders, just a great defensive play there.
Marauders showing a 4-4 defensive front. Switching in defensive linemen and linebackers occasionally. They have a very large roster, folks. Well over 50 players listed. 3rd down and 8 for the Falcons. Noon from the shotgun. Flushed out to the near side. Under pressure, he goes down. Tackled in the backfield, and coming up was Dolan Jones, the first man to trip him up by the ankles, and that's going to bring up 4th down, 3 and out for Christian Brothers. Again,
like I said, just great penetration by the Marauders throughout this whole first quarter. They're getting in there, they're filling their gaps as well. Just so far, besides the touchdown by the Marauders, it's been a defensive battle. I think if the Christian Brothers got that punt off last, I think this might just been a whole defensive game.
Now, John Wagstaff is the long snapper. Last time he got that ball up just a little bit too high. Justin Capello, the punter. Nice snap. He's able to get this one away. A spiraling punt that goes past the 50-yard line. Fair catch signaled at the last second by Devin Kelly. So if you're a Christian Brothers fan, so far the offense a little bit stagnant. Their first 3 series go punt, turnover on downs, and punt here in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely not what you want to do to come out here for the Holy Bowl 43. You definitely want to go down and get some points, especially with that explosive Marauder offense. You want to try to be able to keep up with them. Any game I've seen by the Marauders, they've definitely put points up on the board, so Christian Brothers are going to have to go down and get some points if they want to stay in this game.
Jesuit leads this ball game 7-0. It's Holy Bowl 43 live from Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Marauders with the football going right to left. They have the ball on the 45-yard line in between the hashes. This is a handoff that goes towards the far side. Ball carrier taken down. Correction, that was the quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck. Jason, they execute this style offense so well as there's a flag on the play. And, of course, I'm talking about that play action, that trickery from handing the ball off to the fullback. 9 times out of 10, if Spurbeck sees a hole, he's going to take it.
Yeah, they do a lot of misdirection, and from talking to him last week, the coaches basically give the ball in his hands. They tell him, if you see a hole, go for it. If not, hand the ball off to your running back or fullback and let them do what they can do. But they have a lot of confidence in Thomas Spurbeck, and I can see why. The kid's got a good field general. He controls his offense really well, and it shows. I mean, they haven't lost yet this year.
And how about that? A personal foul penalty committed against Christian Brothers. That'll be in the 15-yard variety, so a big penalty right there committed against the Falcons defense.
Yeah, they called that a horse collar penalty on the Falcons there, on the tackle on Spurbeck.
And now the Marauders cross over into Falcon territory. 1st and 10 from the Falcon 29, in between the hashes. This will be a flick towards the near side, an option over towards the near side. Ball carrier takes it. That's Periotti, tackled around the 15. A huge gain on the ground, close to 15 yards.
Yeah, that's where Thomas Spurbeck's speed comes into effect there. They constantly think he's going to just take it down and run, and he pitches it on a very nice option play to Perietti, and he gets to the outside and gets a first down. Just very nice execution by the offense.
1:07 left on the clock here in the first quarter. Jesuit leads this football game 7-0. They have the ball right here, just 2 plays into this offensive series. They now have it on the Falcon 13. A huge personal foul penalty has put Jesuit into the red zone. 1st and 10. Handoff up the gut, met immediately. How about that? That is the Iowa State verbal commit, Vinny Johnson with the smack.
Yeah, it proves why he's already committed to a college. He got in there. He laid a nice hit on the ball carrier for a very minimal gain. Yeah, just looking good.
Vinny Johnson, no joke, folks. Senior, 6'5", 260. Already verbally committed to the Iowa State Cyclones.
Yeah, that's a big kid. I don't want him tackling on me when I'm coming through the middle.
And I could see him out there in Ames, Iowa. He looks like an Iowa kid. 2nd down and 11. Left hash mark on the 14-yard line. Spurbeck under pressure, eludes the sacker, still on his feet, now he's drugged down. Jordan Regino with a huge sack, and that might do it for the first quarter, but how about Spurbeck? He eludes the first defender, tries to go to the far sideline, trips his feet up, and he can't maintain his footing.
Yeah, they had 2 Falcons on his feet there, and he was able to shake them both off, get out there. His offensive line's got to do a couple of blocks. He can't do it all by himself.
That's going to do it for the first quarter. We've played 1 here, folks. It's Holy Bowl 43. Jesuit has the early 7-0 advantage. When we come back, we'll kick off the second quarter. You're tuning in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Second quarter getting ready to start here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. I'm Sean Hennessy, joined alongside me, Jason Patterson. Over 15,000 people in attendance here tonight, folks. It's no ordinary high school football game, and I say that with all due respect because tonight it's the Holy Bowl. It's one of the biggest high school football games in the entire Northern California market. I'm talking about Jesuit taking on Christian Brothers, a matchup that has been going back to the 1970s. Jesuit has the advantage. They have 25 victories in this matchup. They've won the last 2. Christian Brothers' last victory came back in 2009. They have 17 wins. You talk to any fan here in attendance, and they will tell you that when this game is put down on the schedule, they circle their calendar right from the get-go.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you could just look around here and tell that this is obviously the place to be here on Saturday night in Sacramento. This is packed to the rafters. Like we said, easily 15,000 people here. Just a parking lot absolutely packed. Nowhere to park. People parking in the principal's parking spot. Wherever you can park, you're fitting it in. There's nowhere to go here. Standing room only here at Hughes Stadium.
We get ready to start the second quarter. Jesuit will have the football following a huge sack. Jordan Regino brought down Thomas Spurbeck a few moments ago. Then the clock expired. Here we are now getting ready to start the second quarter. 7-0 Jesuit. We switch sides. Marauders with the football moving left to right on your screen. They have it on the Falcon 20-yard line, right hash mark. Spurbeck directly under center. One back behind him. Drops back 5 steps. Setting up for the screen. Pass is caught by Kelly. Kelly at the 15 and brought down right away. That was Ryan Graggs coming up from the defensive secondary, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, before we find out what this penalty is, I'd like to point out the way Spurbeck, he had the patience there to wait for the entire defensive line to get in, and then he was able to make a nice pass to the flats for the screen. Definitely what you'd like to have from your quarterback when you're running a screen, to wait as long as you possibly can to get as much defensive people chasing you, and then deliver the screen pass.
Penalty is a holding call committed against Jesuit. That will knock him back 10 yards.
That is one thing that I noticed last week by watching the Jesuit. When they get down into the red zone, they do commit a couple small, simple penalties, a couple false starts here, a couple holdings here. I mean, a couple small things. That's one thing that I said that they needed to fix coming into this week's game. And so far they've done pretty good. I believe that's their first offensive penalty.
Christian Brothers has a very, very good defensive secondary. In their matchup versus Vanden, they had 5 interceptions. One of the leaders on that defense in terms of interceptions is the man that just made that tackle, Ryan Graggs. Looks like there's a timeout on the field. Jesuit decides to burn a timeout. That is their first timeout consumed here in the first half. Each team now with 2 timeouts remaining. 11:39 left in the second quarter. Jesuit 7, Christian Brothers 0.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week. From your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
We're in the second quarter now here at Holy Bowl 43. Jesuit with the football following a big holding penalty. It's now 3rd down and 25 for the Marauders. They're going to have the ball marked down on the Falcon 28-yard line. Marauders moving left to right, wearing the all-white uniforms, the red helmets. They're going to have the ball on the left hash mark. Back out onto the field come the Falcon defense. And just a few moments ago, I discussed and mentioned that defensive secondary is very quick, very fast, and one of those leaders is Ryan Graggs, folks. He's on the top of your screen in that back corner by the 20-yard line. The kid is an absolute speedster. 3rd and 25. Thomas Spurbeck looks over to his right. He has 3 wide receivers bunched up. 1 back behind him. Drops back 5 steps. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws towards the end zone. And it's caught at the 2. Touchdown! Jumping up and grabbing it with both hands. What a play by Jason Ellenberger.
Yeah, that was a miraculous play. I was expecting to say interception there, and the ball just happened to go right over the defender's hands and right into the wide receiver. Great play by the wide receiver, number 5, Ellington, I think it was, Ellenberger, Jason Ellenberger, with a nice catch. Now he's going to be the holder for the kick to get the extra point. Kid's obviously multi-talented.
What a grab inside the 5-yard line. Jason Ellenberger, for a moment, it looked like that ball was deflected, but he actually tipped it, recaptured the ball, and then fell forward into the end zone. PAT try, no good. I beg your pardon, it is good. Right up through the uprights, it split right through. So that puts the score at 14-0 in favor of Jesuit. 11 minutes and 31 seconds left here in the second quarter. It's the Marauders 14, the Falcons nothing.
Yeah, that seemed to get the Jesuit crowd into it. They're up there. You can hear them from all the way across the stadium. They're over there getting really, really live for their Marauders, leading 14-0 here in the second quarter. Always good to go up 14-0 on your rivals here in Rival Week.
6 plays for 55 yards for Jesuit on that previous series. They go 6 plays, 55 yards, and it's a 28-yard touchdown pass from Thomas Spurbeck to Jason Ellenberger. And now Jesuit has a 14-0 lead. Here in the second quarter, 11 minutes and 31 seconds left.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that was a very nice called timeout by the sideline, by the Marauders. They called that timeout. They knew they had a long 3rd down, and they were able to get the nice play, or the right play in, and got the 1st down and the touchdown. Just good timeout called by the sideline by the Marauders. Let's see if Andrew Endicott can't put another one in the end zone with his golden boot.
Endicott with one heck of a leg. Can't believe I doubted he missed that PAT try a few moments ago. He nailed it. And that puts the score at 14-0. Return man has some room to work and trips up around the 35. That was Amari Gray, one of the fastest men on the Falcons team. He gets tripped up at the last second, flag thrown around the 26.
Yeah, he found a big hole in the middle, and he just turned on those jets and ran through it. He looked real good out there. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if this penalty would not be on the Falcons. Maybe there was a reason there was a huge hole there.
Yeah, usually when you see your special teams escape artist able to zigzag through the middle like that, usually there's a hold, and you're right, partner, when it's thrown like that back around the Falcons side, How about this? It's actually going to go against the Marauders.
Well, that's going to help the Falcons out quite a bit. Looks like they're moving them 15. No.
An illegal block.
Illegal block in the back.
Block in the back. And so Christian Brothers is going to have their best starting field position of the night. They're going to have this ball on their own 46-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to need the good field position. They need to go down and get 7 points here. They're not out of this game yet. Don't let the 0 up there fool you. 14-0 is not something that ends the game. One touchdown, you're right back in it.
Noon lines up with 4 wide receivers. Pass play. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws far sideline. It's caught at the 50. Wideout takes it out of bounds around the 44-yard line. That was Mason Staley with the reception. So a gain of 9 yards through the air from Noon to Staley. Staley will usually line up to the right or left side of the quarterback, Caden Noon. Now coming into the ball game, a fresh set of legs. We see Austin Hart lined up to Noon's right hip pocket. 1st and 10. Following the play, count it for a gain of 10 yards for Staley's last reception. Another pass play over to the far side. This is Walker. Walker tackled. No, he's still on his feet. It takes at least 3 guys to bring this kid down, but he did get the forward progress for a gain of 1.
Yeah, I'd like to point out the nice defense by the Marauders there. They tried to throw the wide receiver screen pass, and they were all over that one. He only got 1. I mean, it did take him 3 to 4 guys to take him down, but they did get him down for a minimal gain.
10:40 to go here in the second quarter. Jesuit leads Christian Brothers 14-0. Falcons with the football going right to left. They have it on the Marauder 42.
That was a run up the middle by Austin Hart, number 22 for the Christian Brothers Falcons. Looks like a gain of 3 to 4 yards.
Hart, a junior at 5'9", 180 pounds. Getting the carry right there. Big third down try here for the Falcons. With the way Jesuit is scoring now, they have the momentum. They need to keep this offensive series going. It's 3rd and 4. Noon rolling out near side, has a man, and it's caught inside the 30. That's Gray. Omari Gray slips away from the defensive back. He beat Christian Williams and picks up the 1st down.
Yeah, that shows the comfort that they had, that the wide receiver and quarterback have there. That was all a timing route. He threw the ball pretty much before the receiver even turned around. He was able to turn around and locate the ball, get it, get the 1st down. Very nice play.
1st and 10 for Christian Brothers, now on the Marauders' 21-yard line. 9:45 to go here in the second quarter. Option play. This is Noon keeping it himself, ignoring the pitch man, tackled inside the 15. A gain of close to 8 yards on the option. So Caden Noon keeping the ball right there, going over towards the far sideline. He had his pitch man to his right side, and that was Austin Hart, but he decided to keep it himself. Picks up close to 9 yards. 2nd down and 1. This is Hart going left side. Tackled inside the 10. Coming up and making the stop right there on that play was number 44, Austin Gates. That'll be good enough for a Falcon 1st down.
That'll definitely get this crowd into it as they're getting closer and closer to that end zone for that first Falcon touchdown.
And how about this? Christian Brothers now 1st and goal from the Marauder 9-yard line. Going right to left, ball in between the hashes. 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Jesuit leads Christian Brothers 14-0. This is Noon. Goes straight ahead, but finally drugged down back at the line of scrimmage. And once again, coming up with the tackle was Austin Gates.
That was a huge hold in the middle there. He decided to run through it, and right when he decided to run through it, they closed that hole real quick right on top of him. Very good defensive play, showing a hole and then deciding to close it right as they seen it open.
Holy Bowl 43, folks. A lot on the line here tonight. 2nd down and goal. Noon drops back, looks to his right side, fires towards the middle, incomplete pass. 3 defenders around his intended target, Jalen Walker. He ran a slant route from right to left, but the ball was overthrown. 3rd and goal upcoming.
Yeah, he's seen 6 points there and just got a little ahead of himself and didn't put the ball right in his receiver's numbers. Led him a little bit too far, and just it happened to be an incomplete pass.
Another Falcon runs onto the field as Austin Gillen checks into the ball game. Quarterback Caden Noon taking his time, barking out the calls to his offensive line. All players are set. Play action. Throws for a fade route in the far corner. One-on-one. And that ball is incomplete. It was a one-on-one matchup, and Devin Kelly won the battle in the far corner against Jalen Walker. It's going to bring up 4th and goal.
Yeah, very nice play by Devin Kelly. He didn't get ahead of himself, waited to get that ball at its highest point, made the jump with the wide receiver, and was able to knock it down. Very nice play in the back of the end zone by Devin Kelly.
It'll be a 25-yard field goal try from this range. And on to try the field goal is Akello Weatherspoon. 25-yarder, the ball's on the left hash mark. Hold is down, kick is away, and that one is good. Weatherspoon drills it from 25 yards out. 14-3 is our score. 8 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter. You're tuned in to PlayOnSports.com, your destination for high school sports.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here.
14-3 is our score. We're in the second quarter. 8:13 to go. Jesuit with a 14-3 lead. Best drive of the night for Christian Brothers. They were really hoping for that one-on-one battle. But unfortunately for them, Devin Kelly made a great defensive play at the cornerback position.
Yeah, I agree. Even though they didn't get the 7 points, that was a much-needed 3. They needed to get that goose egg off the board. Now they got the ball rolling. Let's see if they can't continuously put up some more points. They definitely need to stop this Jesuit Marauder offense, though, if they want to keep in this game. So far, just the Marauders showing how dominant they really are with Thomas Spurbeck and just all the misdirections and everything they're running. Just looking like a solid offense. The Christian Brothers going to have to step it up on defense, make a stop, and get the ball back in their offense's hands.
Christian Brothers goes 10 plays for 54 yards, capped off with a 25-yard field goal by Akello Weatherspoon. That puts the score at 14-13. I beg your pardon, 14-3 in favor of Jesuit. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Marauders will get it at their own 20.
So we got Thomas Spurbeck coming out here again. This kid is just dominant. Like I said before, he's just an overall field general. I haven't seen a high school kid just control his offensive line and his whole offensive unit as good as this kid does.
Spurbeck came into this game with 2 rushing touchdowns. He has 1 tonight, so make it 3. And he also had 4 passing touchdowns and hit Ellenberger on the previous series, so make it 5 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns now officially on the season. Jesuit with the football in their own 20, moving left to right in the all-white uniforms, red helmets, yellow trim. Ball on their own 20-yard line. Quick handoff up the middle for no gain. As mentioned, a packed house here at Hughes Stadium. We're broadcasting to you live from Sacramento City College. 15,000, maybe even more in attendance here tonight. It's the Holy Bowl 43. Christian Brothers looking for their first victory since 2009 against hated rival Jesuit. Jesuit with 25 wins in this 43-year matchup. Christian Brothers with 17 victories. Jesuit trying to make it 3 in a row. Second down and 10 following the rush play. Timeout on the field. The Marauders decide to call their second timeout. They have 1 remaining. Christian Brothers has 2 timeouts remaining. Jesuit 14, Christian Brothers 3.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
14-3 in favor of the Jesuit Marauders. Quick scoring recap. Back in the first quarter, Thomas Spurbeck had a 4-yard rushing touchdown. PAT good. That gave the Marauders an early 7-0 advantage. Later on in the second quarter, it was Spurbeck who hit Jason Ellenberger for a 28-yard touchdown reception. PAT good as well. That made the score 14-0. And then on the previous offensive series, it was a 25-yard field goal by the Falcon kicker, Akello Weatherspoon. That puts the score at 14-3. That's where we stand at this moment. Second down and 10. Pass play upcoming. This one thrown towards the near side. This is Kelly. Kelly brings it back towards the near sideline, tackled by several Falcon defenders, but there's a flag thrown back at the 15.
Yeah, that's normally in the area of holding. Let's see what the referees call, but that was a pretty quick flag. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a hold by the offensive line.
It was a wide receiver screen play. Spurbeck to Devin Kelly. Our officials with a lot of responsibility here tonight in the Holy Bowl. It was actually a false start against the Marauders. That'll push them back 5 yards.
Yeah, again, those are small penalties that always tend to hurt you. It's not good when you move backwards. The point of football is to go forwards.
We're at 7 minutes and 18 seconds here in the second quarter. Jesuit leads Christian Brothers 14-3 here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Second down and 15 following the false start penalty for the Marauders. Moving left to right. They have it on their own 15-yard line in between the hashes. 3 wide receivers to the right side for Spurbeck. Another whistle blows, another flag on the play.
Yeah, the Marauders are definitely going to have to watch this false start penalties. Looks like it's going to, no, this one we have an offsides on Christian Brothers, so that's going to offset the false start from the previous play. A couple small penalties from both teams here.
That'll put the football back to the original line of scrimmage for this offensive series. It now sits at the 20-yard line in between the hashes. Christian Brothers showing that 4-4 defensive front. And here comes a late flag as the offensive linemen come back to the line of scrimmage. 3 straight flags, folks, within, I'd say, a minute 30 seconds. Illegal procedure penalty this time committed against the Marauders. So how about this? Let's give you the play-by-play for the past 2 minutes. Ball was on the 20. Penalty committed against the Marauders. It was a false start, brings them to the 15. Then you have a penalty against the defensive lineman for Christian Brothers. That puts the ball at the 20. And now, literally 20 seconds ago, you have the Marauders who commit an illegal procedure penalty. We're back at the 15. Make sense?
Not at all. Just moving back and forth. At this point, all kids are getting tired of just walking 5 yards in every direction. Let's get the football moving. Let's get towards some end zones.
4 wide receivers for the Marauders. Second down and 15. 3 wide outs towards the right, 1 to the left. This is Spurbeck, and he's tackled. Nowhere to go. He tried to get that ball upfield. He tried to look for some space, had nothing. Nathan Ashby with the tackle. A loss of 2 yards on the play. Nathan Ashby, the nose tackle in that defense, able to penetrate the line of scrimmage and take down Thomas Spurbeck for a loss of 2. It'll bring up 3rd down and 17, 5 minutes, 49 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Spurbeck drops back, fires towards the near sideline, hits his target at the 25, still on his feet, drug out of bounds around the 28. That'll go for a gain of maybe 11, 12 yards on the play, but it's going to be well shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, that was Steve Heath with the reception there for the Marauders, number 23. Nice little play, but short of the first down marker, so that will lead to a punt here for the Marauders.
Jalen Walker on to receive the punt. First punt in the ball game for Jesuit. Andrew Endicott, the punter, lines up at his own 11. High snap. He brings it in and punts it away. Walker will let it bounce at the 49. Now he takes it at his own 44, and he's tripped up around the 47-yard line. Making the tackle on the play was Adam Varia. Two previous offensive series for Jesuit resulted in touchdowns, so that was their first punt in the football game. And now Christian Brothers will have the ball on their own 48-yard line with 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was exactly what the Falcons needed to do, is get the Marauders off the field, get the ball back into the Falcons' offensive hand, get some more points on the board. 3 points their last drive. Let's see if they can't go get 7 this drive.
Omari Gray, the wide receiver, spread out towards the left. Walker towards the far side along the top of your screen. 4 total wide receivers for quarterback Caden Noon. 1st and 10, Falcons going right to left. Noon slings it far sideline. Pass is caught. That's the big tight end, Hayden Jones, coming up with the reception, and that'll be a first down.
Yeah, big is definitely the right way to describe that kid. He's obviously taller than everybody on his team. It's a big kid out there. An easy target for your quarterback to hit for the first down.
Hayden Jones stands 6'6", 235 pounds, a junior. 1st and 10. Noon, eluding 2 defenders, lowers his shoulder and is tattooed at the 40-yard line. Probably the last thing you want to see from your quarterback, but you know who made that tackle? The opposing quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck, with the lick.
Yeah, it's obviously probably a good thing for those kids to get on the defensive side of the ball and make some hits themselves. That was a big hit by the quarterback. Not something you'd expect to see from a quarterback, but he does play safety on the opposite side of the ball.
Mason Staley to Caden Noon's right hip pocket. 2nd down and 10. Staley gets the handoff flag on the play. Staley past the 30, still on his feet inside the 20-yard line. A huge gain on the ground, but you gotta wonder, was the penalty committed against Christian Brothers?
Yeah, it was a very nice open field tackle by Jason Ellenberger, number 5 for the Marauders. It was a holding penalty on the Falcons, but besides that penalty, it was a very nice open field tackle. He was able to wrap the guy up by his feet and take him down instead of getting the miss and maybe even a touchdown.
Holding penalty against Christian Brothers negates the big run by Mason Staley. It's now 2nd down and 20. Defense putting on a 5-yard press on the inside slot receiver. 2nd down and 10. Incomplete pass to Omari Gray. It was a quick comeback route. Brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, it almost looked like they were trying to run a screen there. And like I wanted to point out earlier in the game, Thomas Spurbeck for the Marauders, he was able to have patience and wait for that defensive line to get in there and chase himself down. And that way he was able to free his running back up. But here for number 10, Noon for the Christian Brothers, he held onto the ball not long enough, threw the ball, and left his wide receiver out there to get tackled. Looks like we're going to have a timeout by Christian Brothers.
Christian Brothers burns their 2nd timeout of the first half. Now both teams with 1 timeout remaining. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to play here in the 2nd quarter. Jesuit 14, Christian Brothers 3. You're tuned in to PlayOnSports.com.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
It'll be 3rd down and 20 following the timeout for Christian Brothers. They trail Jesuit 14-3 here in the 2nd quarter. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. They will have the ball directly at midfield on the 50-yard line, moving right to left on your screen, wearing the all-blue uniforms, white lettering, red trim.
Yeah, this is a big drive for the Falcons. They need to go down and put some points up on the board. They definitely don't want to go into halftime trailing 14-3.
Noon from the shotgun. Staley to his left pocket. Plenty of time. Looks the middle of the field. Pass is incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Jones. But at the last second, that play is broken up. Coming up, making another great tackle was Spurbeck.
Yeah, that kid's just got great football knowledge. Easily known that his dad is the head coach at Sac State, and obviously teaching his kid well. His kid looks good on both sides of the ball. Thomas Spurbeck, easily, I'd say, the MVP for the Marauders.
Capello on to punt the ball away. He stands at his own 35-yard line. He gets it away. A beautiful spiraling kick taken at the 11-yard line. That's Devin Kelly. No, I beg your pardon. This is Jason Ellenberger, the wideout who caught the 28-yard receiving touchdown back earlier on in the 2nd quarter. He takes it for a couple yards, and on comes the Marauders offense for one last try here in the 2nd quarter.
I'd like to talk about the just the stamina that Thomas Spurbeck's got to have to be out there making plays as a safety and then come back in and have such control over his offense. The kid's just great on both sides of the ball, really showing the word Iron Man for playing both sides of the ball. And
it kind of showcases his speed, too, because he leads the team in terms of rushing yardage, and they put him at free safety. You got to be agile to play those two positions.
Yeah, I agree.
1st and 10 for the Marauders now, moving left to right. Spurbeck glances toward his left side. Flings it. Pass is caught at the 30. That'll go for a gain of 11 yards. Coming up with the reception was Steve Heath. So a gain of 11 yards right there on the play.
Yeah, very nice play by Spurbeck. Just drops back, finds his receiver right on the curl route, throws it right into his receiver's numbers. Just overall great execution. Just amazing skills from this kid, Thomas Spurbeck.
Alec Moen and Heath are your two wide receivers down on the field, one to the right, one to the left. Here's a handoff to the tailback. He's flung backwards and nowhere to go. That was the tailback. That was actually John Sierra for a loss of a couple.
Yeah, not without any extra work there, though. He did not want to go down. Seeing his first carry of the game, he wanted to maybe prove himself, but get a couple more carries throughout this game. He definitely didn't want to go down on that first contact. But still, after the hard effort, still a loss of a couple.
Second down and 13 following the loss of yardage.
Another
Ball
flag.
on the 28-yard line. And you're right, partner, another flag here.
Lots of flags early in this game.
Officials come together around the 27-yard line to discuss the penalty. A legal procedure penalty against Jesuit.
That's the second one of the game. That's simple penalties you don't need to have. You definitely line up all week long. They teach you how to do your procedures. That's not something that you're supposed to do. That's definitely something that the coach probably going to talk to them about here at halftime.
Attack it for 5 yards. It makes it second down and 18 for Jesuit. They have it on their own 23. This is Spurbeck. Incomplete pass. He didn't have enough juice on that one. Looking for Heath. Around the 35-yard line, incomplete, brings up third and long.
It actually looked like Heath maybe went 5 extra yards more than what Spurbeck was expecting. He threw the ball 5 yards behind him. His receiver hadn't even turned around yet. Maybe he was expecting him to curl, and he ran the streak instead. Just a miscommunication play by the receiver and quarterback there.
And I tell you what, the defensive back right there on the play was Akello Weatherspoon, who is also the field goal kicker who drilled the 3 points for Christian Brothers. He's playing a good 8 to 10 yards off the ball, and that's why the Marauders are throwing those nice short 5 to 10 comebacks. Third and long. Spurbeck with two backs behind him. Hands it off to the left side. This is Perrietti, and he goes out of bounds around the 25-yard line. Another flag comes in after Perrietti goes out of bounds.
Yeah, we've had like one flag for every Christian Brothers cheerleader we have out here. Just lots and lots of flags throughout this first half. I was just getting ready to say how good the Christian Brothers defense slid down there and was able to get to the outside, beat the running back to the outside to take him down for a minimal gain. But let's see what this penalty was on. It came in a little late, probably in the area of personal foul for a late hit. Let's see what they say. It actually is a personal foul on the Christian Brothers.
Oh,
so
that's huge.
That's going to help out Thomas Spurbeck quite a bit with the automatic first down and moving him 15 yards closer to the end zone. With 2 minutes 42 seconds to go in the first half, with the Jesuit Marauders leading the Christian Brothers Falcons 14-3 here at Hughes Stadium at Sac City College.
Zachary Evertson and Kendall Williams check into the ball game. Ryan Graggs takes a breather. 1st and 10. Heath with the reception, a sliding catch around the 47. Christian Brothers coaching staff furious, indicating that is an incomplete pass. And the side judge comes in and agrees. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put the blame on Spurbeck for that one. He had his receiver open, just threw it a little bit too much into the ground, and Heath did all he could to try to get his hands underneath it, but the ball happened to touch the turf before he got it completely secured in his hands.
Tyler Marshall now coming into the ball game. Steve Heath will catch a breather. 2nd down and 10 for Jesuit. They have the football on their own 42-yard line in between the hashes, moving left to right on your screen. 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Delayed handoff to the tailback. And nowhere to go, maybe 2 or 3 on the ground. It's going to bring up third down now.
Yeah, the Christian Brothers Christian Brothers Falcons, they need a big stop. They need to get the ball in their offense. They really, really want points before this half is over. Trailing 14-3. They've done a couple good defensive stops. A couple penalties have led to a couple first downs. Let's see if they can't get their defense off the field, put some water bottles in their hand, and put the football in the offensive hands. 3rd
down and 7 for the Marauders offense. Spurbeck fakes the handoff, throws deep down the near sideline, and it goes off the right hand of Tyler Marshall. If it was just 6 inches inside, he may have been able to bring that in. Instead, it'll bring up 4th down.
That was a great throw by Thomas Spurbeck. He led his wide receiver. The wide receiver looked like he didn't know exactly where that ball was going to land. He stutter stepped a little bit, and that could have cost him the reception. But overall, I think it was a good throw by Spurbeck. He put it where only his receiver could get it, and they just didn't happen to make that pass.
Endicott will line up as the punter on his own 30-yard line. Back deep to receive the punt will be Jalen Walker, deep at his own 10-yard line. Endicott has one heck of a boot. We'll see what he gets on this one. Over towards the far sideline, not as much as anticipated, but rolls out of bounds around the 24-yard line. So the last 2 offensive series were shut down for Jesuit. The Christian Brothers defense holding strong. And now with 1 minute and 44 seconds left here, Jason, before the first half comes to a close, if you're Christian Brothers, you can't take this next offensive series lightly. You want to go into half trailing by 4 as opposed to trailing by 11 here, 14-3.
Yeah, I agree. You definitely got to go down and put 7 points up. That 3 is not even going to be enough. I mean, 3 would be nice, but you want 7 here. You want to take momentum on your side going into halftime. Being the home team in front of this big, huge crowd, you want to get your crowd into it. You want to have the crowd behind you, and that's one way that you could do it is go into halftime getting a touchdown here at the end of this first half.
Mason Staley lined up to the left side of Caden Noon in the shotgun. Noon flings it. Pass is caught by his wideout, Zachary Brooks, and he's tied up around the 30-yard line. Tackled inbound, so the clock will continue to roll. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining now in the second quarter. 2nd down and 5 upcoming.
Yeah, very nice tackle by Devin Kelly to keep that wide receiver inbounds, keep that clock moving, exactly what the Marauders wanted there. Short gain, keep the clock moving.
3 wide receivers over towards the left side of your screen, 1 towards the top. Noon flushed out, tucks the ball now, tripped up, falls down, and the ball pops loose. Tackled around the 29. Here comes a flag, but as Caden Noon was falling towards the ground, the ball pops loose and rolls out of bounds.
I think they might get him for an illegal forward pass there. It looked like he tried to throw the ball out of bounds to get it to stop the clock. We'll see what the call is here by the refs.
Well, Gray and Brooks were his 2 wide receivers that were even, I mean, if you want to say close to that side. But now the official waves the flag, which indicates to the press box that there is no flag on the play. The penalty will be waved off.
Yeah, I guarantee that's what they were discussing. Was it an illegal forward pass? Because he definitely put his hands out, but I think he just lost the ball maybe instead of throwing it like they had originally thought. So we have 1:09 here to go in the first half. Let's see if Christian Brothers can't drive down and get these points.
Noon with 4 wide receivers, 2 to each side. Looks middle, dumps it, intercepted! The pass is picked off!
That's the big tight end, Gates, number 44 for Jesuit.
Gates lined up as an inside linebacker, reads the play like a book, and gets the pick.
Yeah, that's Austin Gates, number 44, the tight end. He's a junior, listed at 6 foot, 205 pounds. He just got a 6-foot frame there, right in the passing lane, got the interception. Very nice play. Now Christian Brothers really got to get on it here in defense because Jesuit, with their explosive offense, has a whole minute and a timeout to go here. They definitely are going to try to put some more points up. And with the boot of Endicott, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't at least get 3 points here. Such good field position.
Caden Noon may have been looking for his tight end, Hayden Jones, but that one was nowhere near him as Austin Gates comes up with the interception. It'll be 1st and 10 for Jesuit with 1 minute to play here in the second quarter. They have 1 timeout remaining. They have the ball on the Falcon 19-yard line. Right hash mark. Offensive line set. Play action. This is Spurbeck. He eludes a tackler. Throws towards the corner. Incomplete. He was looking towards the far corner of the end zone. Pass intended for Andrew Hoy. Incomplete.
I'll tell you what, if they gave points for as many tackles as you can get people to miss, Thomas Spurbeck would be the leading point scorer for any team in high school nation. Kid just makes every kid miss. You definitely, as a defensive lineman, when you get in the backfield, you don't expect the quarterback to just shake you out of your draws. One thing that you definitely don't want, you want to be able to wrap that quarterback up. And he's just been too evasive for the Christian Brothers.
First turnover of the ball game is committed by Christian Brothers. Austin Gates of Jesuit with the interception puts the offense in great field position. 2nd down and 10. Spurbeck takes it up the middle, has a blocker, and is tripped up at the 10. Whoever got their hand on Sperbeck just saved a touchdown.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was his own feet there, Sean. He got a little ahead of himself, tripped himself up. If he doesn't do that, I think he walks right in for the end zone for a touchdown. We have 33 seconds and counting here in the first half. They need to get on the ball or call their timeout. I don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to waste a little bit more time, trying not to give the Christian Brothers maybe any time to get a score after they get some points.
Heath and Hoy, the two wide receivers, over towards the top of your screen, and that's the direction that Sperbeck's looking. He fires, and that one thrown behind the intended target. It was a slant to Andrew Hoy, incomplete. Dangerous pass right there, stops the clock with 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was number 18, Brendan Gomfrey, that got, or Gormley, excuse me. I can't even read my paper, excuse me. He got in there, got his hand on the ball. Very nice play by Brendan to get in there and save that touchdown, and it's going to hold him to 3 points.
It'll be a 29-yard field goal try here for the place kicker, Andrew Hoy. Ball on the right hash mark. It's blocked. The kick is blocked, and here comes the cavalry. This is John Wagstaff. No one next to him. He'll take it all the way. Touchdown, Christian Brothers.
Yeah, very, very nice play. I want to point out number 18 again for Christian Brothers, Brendan Gormley. He got a nice block and made sure that he got his guy out there for that touchdown.
An 88-yard punt block return for a touchdown goes to Wagstaff. What a switch of momentum, Jason, right there by the special teams unit.
Yeah, that's exactly what Christian Brothers wanted to do here going into halftime. That puts Mr. Mo on their side with only 1.2 seconds to go in the first half. And now they are only down, if they can get this extra point, only down 4 points. Exactly what they wanted to do here going into halftime.
12 seconds left here in the second quarter. Punt was blocked and returned back into the left end zone here at Hughes Stadium. What a play. And now it looks like there's a timeout on the field. Christian Brothers decides to burn their last timeout now. Jesuit has one remaining here in the first half. What a play by the special teams unit. That was John Wagstaff going all the way into the end zone for Christian Brothers. An 88-yard punt block return for a touchdown by John Wagstaff. What a play.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like there's more cheerleaders than players for Christian Brothers over here. They have a huge line of cheerleaders.
I would say at least 40 to 50 cheerleaders down on that Christian Brothers sideline. A great show for the cheer squad, for the Falcons fans. Here's something interesting now, almost the Oregon Duck PAT shift, if you will, as the offensive line goes from left to right. Lining up to kick it is Witherspoon. PAT try, up and away. Splits the uprights. It's good. Holy Bowl 43 living up to the hype. 14-10. Christian Brothers closes the gap to 4 with just 12 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Yeah, with the whole first half being all Jesuit Marauders, that's exactly what the Christian Brothers Falcons needed to do. They did a couple of good defensive stops, got the ball back in their offensive hand, and then they did a very nice special teams block on a field goal or a punt. I think it was a field goal. Yeah, they blocked the field goal and got it for a touchdown. Just overall, just good play here coming in the later half of the first half.
It was a 29-yard field goal try that was blocked. Wagstaff did not block it, but he picked it up and took it for 88 yards down the field. He had open space, and I tell you what, this Christian Brothers sideline, they've been waiting for a play like this to happen. They went absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Let's give it up again for Brendan Gormley. He did the nice deflection in the end zone to bring up that fourth down play, and then he was also a guy that did a big block to spring Wagstaff there for the full touchdown. Now, if he doesn't make that block, I think Wagstaff gets brought down and they don't get those 7 points.
The The score now stands in favor of Jesuit, but the Falcons have closed the gap. It's 14-10. At one point, it was 14-0 in favor of the Marauders. The Falcons are marching back in this ball game. Kickoff by Hayden Jones is touched by the return man. It could have gone out of bounds, but instead Devin Kelly decides to run with it as he's tackled at the 30. And the reason why I say that is if the ball goes out of bounds, they get the ball at the 40-yard line, but instead the first half comes to a close.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of eager to get into the locker room and discuss what happened through the first half, not trying to have any extra stuff go down, maybe not trying to throw a pick on that one play that they run for a Hail Mary. They're just trying to get into the locker room and discuss what happened throughout this first half.
We've reached halftime here, folks, at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. It's Holy Bull 43. What a ball game we have. 14-10 is our score in favor of Jesuit over Christian Brothers. Stick around. Jason and I are going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Don't go anywhere.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot at this.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from Dion.
He took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just...
Holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball. 12 seconds to go.
Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons win. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take, and there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stags.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
But this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah. And you also, you get it to to your hottest player right now. Just like they're getting into Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own. Shoots and scores. Bounces a shot home. Kuz can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game, and well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Helix. And behind Hancock, the field is littered with white jerseys on the turf.
Wow. Hancock not to be outdone by his fellow playmakers on offense. Put on a show on that short 12-yard touchdown run. Looked like he was down after 3 yards. Just threw a defender on the ground.
As sophomore Chris Carter sits under center in their tight wing formation. Lycos in motion. Second back through is Freeman. Freeman just knocking people over. Look at him run. Breaks through. 4 tackles. And now it's just a foot race to the end zone. And Freeman's going to go the distance. Touchdown Imperial on the first play of the second half. 2nd and 6 for Imperial from their own 47. They're going to give it to Freeman again off the left side. And Freeman gets by one wave and down across the 40-yard line. Still on his feet. Look at him run down to the 20-yard line. One man to beat. Gets by him. Touchdown Freeman. How did he do that? Holy cow. 64-yard touchdown run. His 5th of the game. Royce Freeman, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to see the top rushing, and the as I look over to our partners at KXO Radio, the top rusher in the San Diego section for the next 2 years.
That's just amazing. That is just amazing. They hit him in the backfield. They hit him at the line of scrimmage. They hit him a couple of yards downfield. They hit him again near the goal line.
Keep those Lowell fans quiet over there.
Lum sets it up for Pang. Long, it's out. Low, a magnificent 7 titles in the San Francisco section in dramatic style as they pull out a fantastic victory over a spirited Galileo Lions team. They win the 4th game, 31-29. And they take the 2012 Academic Athletic Association San Francisco section title.
Officials say no 5-second count can be started. Nobody was close enough defensively. Lyle's going to swing left side. Robinson. Here is a backdoor lob for Grant. They've been wanting that all game. And they got it, 50-42. They lulled you to sleep, and then they hit Grant on the back door.
They trail by 2. McMorrow's kick is on the way, and it is good. St. Augustine has their first lead of the game, 21-20, with 25 seconds to play. The senior McMorrow with a huge kick, not the longest of his career, but the biggest of his career. St. Augustine leads it 21-20.
Already lining up. They won't even have to run that one more play. They just acquiesce.
Why bother?
So there you have it. Your 5-time defending Division III champions, the Cathedral Catholic Dons, running up over and through Olympian 41-0 here from Qualcomm Stadium.
Patriots down 21-17. Great ball game here. Dillon taking it, looking right, throwing it.
Jesuit Marauders 14, Christian Brothers Falcons 10 at the half. You're tuning in to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. I'm Sean Hennessy. Joined to my right side is Jason Patterson. An excellent first half that you just witnessed here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Back and forth action. At one point, Jesuit led this football game 14-0, and Christian Brothers has answered back with 10 unanswered points to put the score at 14-10. But let's go ahead and give you a recap. Earlier on in the first half, To be exact, in the first quarter, it was 3 plays, 10 yards, a 4-yard rushing touchdown by Marauders quarterback Thomas Spurbeck, PAT good, that put the score at 7-0. Later on in the second quarter, 6 plays, 55 yards, a 28-yard passing touchdown from Spurbeck to Ellenberger, PAT good, that put the score at 14-0. Then it was for the Christian Brothers offense time to respond. They went 10 plays, 54 yards. They were unable to convert on a 4th down try in the end zone, or a 3rd down try in the end zone, I should say. They go for a field goal. It was good by 25 yards out by Akillo Witherspoon, put the score at 14-3. Then literally just a few moments ago, an unbelievable eruption for the Christian Brothers sideline, an 88-yard punt block return by John Wagstaff as he had open field going right to left. That put the score at 14-10. PAT was good. What a first half, Jason. I know we take a look at the stats here that are in front of us. Christian Brothers had 1 turnover. It was intercepted by Austin Gates. That was Caden Noon, who was picked off by Austin Gates. But then you'd have to take a look at Jesuit. They had a couple turnover on downs in that second quarter, and it really kind of stymied their offense.
Yeah, here looking at the stats from the first half, we have a couple, looks like the Jesuit Marauders came out doing good. They had a turnover on downs and then they followed up with 2 touchdowns. And then after that, it's just been punt, block, field goal. Just overall, basically what happened is the Marauders came out tough, and Christian Brothers, they buckled down. They figured out what was going on by the Marauders, and they seem to have stopped them since those 14 points. After those 2 touchdowns, there really hasn't been much that the offense has done by the Marauders. I'm going to give my hats off to the Christian Brothers defense right now. Just overall doing pretty good.
Head coach of the Falcons, George Petrosans, motivating his team during that second quarter. Whatever he said to his defense, it worked. If you flip sides and take a look at what Thomas Spurbeck was able to do, he had 1 rushing touchdown. He had 1 passing touchdown. It was that 28-yard passing touchdown to Ellenberger. He's one of those key players, if you're a Jesuit fan, that you've just got to admire, Jason, because he plays one of the toughest roles in quarterback. But then on defense, you see the kid running around, making plays in the defensive secondary. Probably most impressive, the kid can deliver a lick, as we saw he put on the opposing quarterback, Caden Noon.
Yeah, like I said, he's definitely putting the word out there that he's definitely going Iron Man, and he's proving every word of that because he's playing just solid safety. We've seen him make a couple nice hits. Definitely saving a couple touchdowns, even getting in there to get a tackle for a loss, I believe, at one point. And like you said, a rushing TD, a passing TD. The kid can do it with his feet, his arm, and on defense. Kid's just an all-around good football player. It proves that they sit around at dinner Sunday night, with his dad, the coach for Sac State, and they talk nothing but football. I just actually read a thing in the Sac Bee not too long ago that's all they talk about. It's football, 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 and it proves here on Saturday night.
You're tuning in to the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. Jesuit with a 14-10 advantage over Christian Brothers. Last season, Christian Brothers went 1-9 on the season. This year so far, they are 3-0. The program has really started to turn itself around. Head coach Joe Petrosans trying to motivate his team and really, Jason, send it in another direction. And not only that, they haven't defeated Jesuit since 2009, so they got something to prove here tonight. They want to snap that streak and capture one for the fans in blue.
Yeah, if I know Coach Petrosans, I know that the 3-0 start's always nice, but if they can put 4-0 and that 4th win be against the Jesuit Marauders, he's going to go home a happy camper tonight. This is definitely the win that either side of the field that each team wants to get really badly. I mean, it's always nice to knock off your rival, especially so early in the year. It just sets the right motion, definitely taking you into better games.
That's going to do it for the PlayOnSports.com halftime show. When we come back, we'll kickstart the second half live here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. 14-10 in favor of Jesuit over Christian Brothers. We'll be back in just a moment.
One match away from immortality.
This is a total team effort.
We're gonna come at you in one shot this.
3:16 left to go in this ball game. I formation, 3rd and 3 from the 45 of the Wolverines. And this time, holy cow! Dion almost hands it to the Westview player. He's going to run this to the 5-10. Touchdown, Wolverines! How did that happen? That was
Snyder.
Holy cow! He was in the backfield before the running back could even get the handoff. He took the handoff from Dion.
He took the ball right out of Dion's hands and just...
Holy cow!
Can't say I've seen that one very often.
Snyder comes shooting in from the A-gap. I think Dion froze when he saw him. He's ready to hand off to his running back. He froze when he saw him and just let him have the ball.
12 seconds to go. Oh, you could hear a pin drop.
5, 4, 3, 2. Get the snap off. Last play of the game. Brewster rolls right. Gets away from 2 sacks. Dons win. Sack at the 20-yard line. What a game.
And number 40, Lucas Zinder with the game-saving sack. And there is heartbreak on one sideline and a jubilation on another.
Offset eye for the Grizzlies as Keeney takes it under center. They'll send a man in motion, pitch back to Bird on the sweep. Bird finds a seam. He might go, folks. 20, 15, 10. Drags a tackler. Touchdown! Bird goes 38 yards for the touchdown on the sweep. One more snap is all it's going to take. And there you have it, folks. Your 2011 Division I Sac-Joaquin section champions, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, as they defeat Pleasant Grove 30-24.
Jacqueline Williamson. Her serve is over. Dug by Holt. Giblin going back to Holt near side. Cut shot. Kept alive. Back in one by Cathedral. And this one is out as Castanon Hill sends it wide. And the Cathedral Dons have won the title 16-14 in Game 5.
Thomas with the ball, swings it out to Norris. Cameron Taylor tried to block that one away. Norris with a strong take, blocked by B.J. Anya. Huge block. Robinson leading the break the other way, gets it to Grant. Slam dunk Jeremy Grant off the feed from James Robinson. What a play by the Stag.
Runner at third is Chavez. 8-2 the score. Bottom of the 7th. The 1-2. Popped in the air. This should do it. Cortopassi says it's mine. Now he's fading on it. And he can't make the catch, but Gaff comes in from center field and does. Congratulations to the St. Mary's Rams, a three-peat. They win it 8-2 against Franklin to take the series 2-0.
But this is time to run an offensive set that you've done all through the season in practice.
Yeah. And you also, you get it to your hottest player right now. Just like they're getting it to Eichhorst right here. He's going to try to create some space, find somebody on the backside that's open.
Eichhorst flush out to the right. Oh, breaks free of a player. Eichhorst on his own. Shoots and scores. Bounces a shot home. Kuz can't handle the shot. Eichhorst takes off the shirt and the helmet. And how about that? Alex called it. Eichhorst, after sustaining the injury in the third quarter of play, has scored the game winner with 22 seconds gone in the overtime period. Dogpile on the field. Marin Academy take it. A fantastic finish to this game. And, well, I hope his other ankle isn't hurting after this.
Hancock to his immediate left. 2 receivers far side, 1 near side. Hancock on a counter, right side. He's inside the 10. He bounces off a tackler at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Helix. NBA.
Shit.
Welcome back to Hughes Stadium here at Sacramento City College. Third quarter about ready to get underway. The Jesuit Marauders lead the Christian Brothers Falcons by a score of 14-10. It's Holy Bowl 43 here in Sacramento. Jason Patterson joined alongside me, I should say. I'm Sean Hennessy here bringing you the play-by-play action as both teams get ready to come back out onto the field. It was all Christian Brothers, Jason. During the end of that second quarter, the momentum really shifted, especially on that punt block where John Wagstaff took it 88 yards into the end zone. Everyone in blue here just erupted.
Yeah, I agree. That was definitely what the Sea of Blue over here on this side of the field wanted to see from their team. They got in there, they got that block, and they picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. Just great special teams play. Got their team right back in this game, only down 4 now coming into the second half.
The Marauders will receive the ball since they kicked it off to start the football game. It will be Heath and Devin Kelly back deep to return the ball. But the officials come over towards the Christian Brothers sideline and say, hey, wait a second, guys, we're going to need you to switch it around. They were lined up along the right end zone. Now they'll run across the field over towards the left end zone to receive the football. Hayden Jones lines up to kick it away. Only one turnover technically in that first half. Austin Gates with an interception, but we did have several turnover on downs committed by both squads, but the key story, Jesuits' offense really stymied in that second quarter. They had 2 touchdowns. One was Thomas Spurbeck, a 4-yard rushing score back in the first quarter, and then a 23-yard receiving touchdown from Spurbeck to Ellenberger early on in the second quarter. Since then, it's been all Falcons. We'll see if Christian Brothers can maintain the momentum, but in the meantime, it's Jesuit, and that'll be a touchback automatically. Kelly in the end zone. The Marauders will start at their own 20.
So let's see how Thomas Spurbeck comes out and starts this second half. So far, he's been the main capitalist there for the Marauders, just constantly driving through passes, just running the ball. Like I've said before earlier in the game, the kid's just a real field general and knows how to control his offense.
Marauders from their own 20-yard line going left to right on your screen. They lead the Falcons by a score of 14-10 as we get ready to start the third quarter here at Hughes Stadium. 2 tight ends on the field, 2 backs behind the quarterback Spurbeck, who then hands it off at the very last second to number 34. That's Connor Frey, replacing the injured Avila Ellington. Ellington, the leading rusher, not in for this ball game. Brings up second down, a nice chunk of change on that carry, close to 8 yards right there for Frey. He goes right side, brings up second down and 2. We're just starting to get things underway here in the third quarter if you're just tuning in. Jesuit with the football. This is the quarterback, Spurbeck, eluding all sorts of players, crosses the 35, the 25, the 15, inside the 10, touchdown!
Wow. There's not much words to be said after that. That is just wow. Great play by Thomas Spurbeck. Got to the outside. Looked like he was only going to get a couple. Turned on those jets, and that's that speed we were talking about earlier. That kid is just dynamite out there. I would not be surprised if you don't hear Thomas Spurbeck's name for years to come.
Unofficially a 72-yard rushing scamper into the end zone for the quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck. 3 total touchdowns on the night, his second rushing score in the ball game.
Yeah, that kid is just amazing. He's just got so much potential, and I think with a couple of good coaches behind his side, that kid's going to be an all-around just great quarterback.
Endicott, a low kick that goes through the uprights, and how about that? Just 2 plays for 80 yards. It's a 72-yard rushing touchdown for Thomas Spurbeck, and Jesuit says, hold your horses. We're not done just yet. 21-10 in favor of Jesuit over Christian Brothers. 11-13 left in the third quarter.
PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com. High school sports lives here. Also, don't forget to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com postgame show where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all the action from this ball game. That's coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Thomas Spurbeck kept the football himself, rushed through the middle of his offensive line, then turned it up towards the far corner and took it for 72 yards into the far corner of the end zone. And he now gives Jesuit a 21-10 advantage. Keep in mind, folks, Christian Brothers offense has only generated 3 points in this ball game. They trail now 21-10. It was their special teams unit that scored earlier on in the first half. They blocked that punt and returned it for 88 yards. So you got to question if Christian Brothers offense is ready to go. Endicott boots it away, bounces into the end zone, touchback Christian Brothers will take the ball out to their own 20-yard line. Can't say enough about Thomas Spurbeck. 3 total touchdowns in this ball game.
Yeah, the kid is just amazing. I mean, there's not much you can say besides amazing. I mean, that run right there alone, they put the ball in his hands, and he just does not disappoint. Just always just constantly moving his feet, constantly trying to get points on the boards for his team. Just a great kid there, just a huge weapon for the Marauders. Their whole offense is based behind that guy.
And how about that? He's right back out on defense, playing the free safety position on your screen, standing at the 35-yard line. But in the meantime, Falcons offense now on the field going right to left, wearing the blue uniforms. Here's an option pitch towards the near sideline. Ball carrier takes it out to the 22-yard line for a gain of maybe 2 yards. The ball carrier right there was Austin Hart.
That was a good play by Gates there to get out, number 44 by Jesuit. Austin Gates, he got out there. He was not fooled by the option play. He stayed on the running back and was able to take him down for a small gain.
Defensive backs playing about 7 yards off the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 8. Ball on the left hash mark. Shotgun formation. Noon under pressure. Skips one tackler and finally brought down at the 21. It will be a sack. It will be a 1-yard loss. 3rd down and 9 upcoming.
That's 32 Malcolm Harvey in there on the stop by the Jesuit Marauders. He did not let the quarterback get away from him, was able to bring him down for the sack. Good play by the Marauders.
Harvey, a key linebacker on that Jesuit defensive front, came in and sniffed out the QB for a 1-yard loss. 3rd down and 9. 4 total wide receivers lined up for the quarterback, Caden Noon, 2 to each side. Ball in between the hashes on the 21. Noon looks left. Nothing. Now he fires. In that one, a dangerous throw. Pass was intended for Omari Gray, but at least 4 defenders around him.
Yeah, way too many white jerseys there. I definitely would not have tried to fit that one in. He tried to play some precision passing mini games on Madden there and fit it through the gold ring, and that just didn't happen. Just good play by the Marauders to get around there and surround that ball and knock it down.
I was waiting for the Madden reference. I like that one. Tried to fit it to the gold ring, but did not work. It brings up 4th down and 10. Justin Capello on to punt the ball, stands at his own 6, gets the ball away. A very nice punt. Will be taken at the 40. This is Kelly. Tackled around the 48-yard line.
And here comes Thomas Spurbeck again. And man, I'm telling you, if I'm a defensive player for any team in this Sac-Joaquin section, I'm going to be nervous anytime the ball is going to be in Thomas Spurbeck's hand. That kid is just, at any second you can blink, and next thing you know, he's in the end zone putting 6 points up for his offense.
The Marauders offense will come back out onto the field. It took them just 2 plays on the last series to score. It was a 72-yard rushing scamper into the end zone by the quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck. Spurbeck back out on the field. Marauders moving left to right on your screen. Handoff goes left side. This is Benjamin Perrietti, tackled at the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10 upcoming.
One thing I have noticed about the Christian Brothers defensive line is when they do just play the dive, they do get over there in time and get they stop the running back for minimal gains. Besides the fact when Spurbeck fools them, they're doing pretty good to stop that run.
Eric Bloomquist, defensive back, checks in for Christian Brothers. He's at the strong safety position. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 49-yard line. This time it's on the left hash mark for Jesuit. Spurbeck checking down the signals to his offensive line. Looks left, looks right. Loose ball, nearly fumbled. Spurbeck keeps it himself. Defense coming up. Tackled at the 49-yard line. So that one could have been disastrous for Jesuit, but with the speed of Spurbeck, he gains 2 on the play.
Yeah, not only the speed, but the cool head there to not panic and just pick up the ball and continue his play. Just great quarterback play. I mean, normally when you see a high school quarterback, they fumble the snap. They tend to just fall on it. Well, he decided to pick it up and still try to make a play happen. Good play.
8 minutes and 28 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter, 21-10 in favor of Jesuit. It's Holy Bull 43 live from Hughes Stadium here at Sacramento City College. 3rd down and 8. Marauders with the football, split backs. Spurbeck slings it, and that one deflected. That was actually broken up by Brendan Gormley, brings up 4th down.
Yeah, he's been in there all day for the defense, just getting his hands in there, deflecting passes left and right. He was also, like I said, made a good block on that punt block that sprung his guy for the touchdown. Just all around the ball, good play by Gormley.
Endicott to punt the ball away. He will be kicking to Omari Gray, lined up at his own 14-yard line. A nice high punt, Gray. No fair catch signal, and he's tackled. Does he slip away? He falls forward. Brought down. A dangerous play right there as he was tackled very close to the 15-yard line, and coming up and making the stop was Tyler Marshall.
Yeah, he's got to get his hand up there and call for that fair catch a little bit quicker before that. It's definitely something his coach is going to tell him as he's coming to the sideline. You don't want to risk a fumble here deep in your territory.
Christian Brothers offense back out on the field. 7 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. 21-10 in favor of Jesuit. Christian Brothers with the football, wearing the all-blue uniforms, white lettering, red trim. Moving right to left on your screen, ball on the Christian Brothers 19-yard line, in between the hashes. 2 wide outs to the top of the screen. This is a handoff that goes towards the right side, and that's Austin Hart, who gets bull rushed but gains about 2 to 3 yards on the carry. Trying to penetrate that big defensive line. Casey Riley, Jacob Rice, Trent Terra, and Dolan Jones for the Marauders play a majority of the time, but since they do have a very large roster, they substitute a lot of defensive players frequently. 2nd down and 6. Noon hands it off to the tailback. Goes near side. Coming up and making a superb tackle is Heath. That was Steve Heath stopping the ball carrier for a 2-yard gain, 3rd down.
Yeah, just great reaction to the ball. Got himself to the outside, made sure the running back did not get by him, wrapped him up, took him down for a good play by the defense. Let's see if they can't hold him here on 3rd down to get the ball back into Spurbeck's hands.
Falcons have it on their own 25-yard line. Left hash mark, 3rd down and 5. 2 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen. Noon looks at the bottom, fires, and that one's incomplete. It goes in and out of the hands of Gray. He cannot bring it in. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that's one thing they teach you in Pop Warner is make sure you make the catch before you start running. He started moving his feet before he looked the ball into his hands, got a little ahead of himself, and just couldn't make that catch.
Heath and Kelly back deep to return the punt. They stand at their own 40-yard line. Capello will punt the ball away from his own 10. 4th down and 5. Nice snap. Capello gets it away. And this will be Kelly. No fair catch signal. Ball popped loose, and he falls on it at the 35.
Yeah, that was dangerous there by Devin Kelly. Luckily, he was able to keep his hands on it, and it didn't get bad for the Marauders. Very nice punt there by the Falcons. A nice high spiraling kick. Gave his gunners the time to get down there. Very good kick.
So Jesuit will get the football back here at their own 36-yard line. These two teams exchanging some early blows here in the third quarter. Back and forth action. Really one score to talk about here in the third quarter. It was 2 offensive series ago for Jesuit. A 72-yard rushing touchdown by Thomas Spurbeck puts the score at 21-10. Spurbeck directly under center. Nothing towards the far side. Tucks the ball down, keeps it himself. Flushed out near sideline, 45, 50. Opposing 40. Now at the 30, the 20. Foot race. Down inside the 10.
Wow.
Flag thrown down back at the Jesuit 46-yard line. Officials come together.
Regardless of that flag, I'd like to point out just the overall talent by Spurbeck. Look to his left, all his receivers were covered, like beyond covered. Look to his right, try to take down his check down. His check down was covered. He just, at that exact second, decided to pull the ball down and run for it and got just a bunch of yards. Obviously, he got a bunch of yards because of the holding, but regardless of the long run, just great overall mindset by Spurbeck to decide to pull that ball down and go for that run.
I look down on the field, and the side judge indicates to the press box 4-4. That's 44. Holding call goes against Austin Gates, the tight end for the Marauders. He gets caught, and that will negate the huge run right there by Spurbeck. The downs will reset here. It'll be 1st down previous play was first down, so it will stay first down. It'll be 1st and 11. Spurbeck just so agile. The kid can move, and if he doesn't see anything going towards the left, he'll cut it back towards the right. He shakes defenders. He can do it all.
Yeah, kid's just the overall package. He's like Michael Vick back there, but just I'd almost say better at this point. The kid's just really, really good.
1st and 11 following the holding penalty. Offensive line jumps, and it looked like the right side of that defensive line, Evertson, may have crossed the line of scrimmage. But no, the officials say it will be a false start, so knock back Jesuit 5 more yards, 15 yards worth of penalties here on just 2 plays.
Yeah, it negated a huge run by Spurbeck, and now another, hard. It's definitely hard to just constantly try to move the ball forward when you're getting too many penalties and taking the ball backwards.
1st and 16 for Jesuit. First down marker at the Marauder 46-yard line. They have it at the 30. Ball carrier takes it towards the right side of the offensive line. That's Perrietti for a gain of a couple. Gets close to 6 on the ground.
A nice little chunky yards there by Perrietti. Just trying to keep it moving. Definitely don't want to be looking at a 3rd and huge. So 6 yards, always good for a run. Definitely good. 3 6s equals, more than 10. So that's always a first down.
Marauder head coach Marlon Blanton trying to keep his team out of the penalty box, committing an awful lot here tonight. They lead this ball game 21-10. Here's a pitch towards the far side. That's Benjamin Perriotti once again, but he's tackled back at the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, great penetration by Christian Brothers there. They got in there. They pressured the quarterback. They even got to the running back in time. Just great overall penetration by the defensive line for the Falcons.
Austin Hart will catch a breather for Christian Brothers as he runs towards the near sideline. Devin Kelly, the wide receiver for the Marauders, lined up at the bottom of your screen. He's being covered by his opponent, who also wears number 2, Akillo Witherspoon. 3rd down and 9. Thomas Spurbeck, the quarterback, looks middle, fires for the tight end, intercepted. It was deflected and intercepted. This is Snyder, Logan Snyder, down around the 25. Jordan Regino tipped it, and Logan Snyder had the pick.
Yeah, very nice play by the defense. Exactly what the crowd wanted to see here. Got the crowd right back into it. They definitely didn't want to go down and give up points. They got the ball in great field position to go put some points up on the board and get right back into this game. Christian Brothers just not going away. They just keep hanging around, and they're definitely looking like they're not going to go away without putting up a fight.
Jordan Regino, the inside linebacker, tipped it to his fellow inside linebacker, Logan Snyder, and he returned that ball for at least, I'm going to guess, 15 to 20 yards right there. Nice interception return, as Christian Brothers will now have the football on Jesuit's own 25-yard line. Timeout on the field. Jesuit decides to burn their first timeout of the second half. They have 2 remaining. Christian Brothers has all 3 timeouts left. When we come back, Christian Brothers will have great field position. They trail this ball game 21-10.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you are enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
So I mentioned that Coach Marlon Blanton a few moments ago wants to keep his team out of the penalty box. They committed several penalties in that last series. And then all of a sudden, his star quarterback, Thomas Spurbeck, was actually looking for his tight end, Austin Gates, down the middle of the field. The ball was deflected by Jordan Regino and falls into the hands of the inside linebacker, Logan Snyder. Now each team with 1 turnover in the ball game. Now Coach Blanton has to worry about his team losing their momentum. They have an 11-point lead here in the 3rd quarter, 4:01 left to play in the 3rd. 1st and 10. Shotgun formation for Caden Noon. Hands it off to Hart. Hart dragging players down the field. Coming up with the first hit was Casey Riley. But he drags Riley for at least 6 yards. best field position, best starting field position of the night for Christian Brothers. Previous play had it on the Marauder 25-yard line. Now the ball is placed down on the Marauder 21. Second down. Noon gives it to Hart once again. Hart goes far side, trips up. He actually tripped up along the far side of the field. He tripped over his own teammate right there, Austin Gillen. He tried to read the hip pocket of Gillen, falls forward for a gain of 2.
Yeah, he definitely caught a little air there when he tripped up. Almost looked like he was flying through the air there. Kind of could have been very dangerous. Luckily, he wasn't injured on the play.
That brings up third down and a long 2 for Christian Brothers. They have it on the Jesuit 18, right hash mark. Red zone territory. Hart bulls ahead, passes the 15, and this looks like it'll be enough for a Christian Brothers first down. So red zone football here, folks, as Austin Hart piles ahead straight up the gut, and they're actually going to mark this ball just shy of the first down marker. Jason, I'm shocked that they're not actually going to bring the chains out for a measurement.
Yeah, I agree. From up here, it looked like he was definitely past the 15-yard line. I think he got a bad spot. If I'm Christian Brothers, I'm asking for a measurement here.
The clock is stopped briefly at 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Now the officials indicate to roll the clock.
They actually did give him the first down.
Yeah. They just reset the chains, so they thought it over. They reset the chains. It's 1st and 10. Now Caden Noon looking over at the sideline saying, hey, what's going on? We need a play. No play was given to the quarterback, and that forces Christian Brothers to burn their first timeout of the second half. So just when they get the first down, no play comes into the offense. They're forced to burn their first timeout of the second half. Now each team with 2 timeouts remaining here in the second half, 21-10 in favor of Jesuit.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Holy Bowl 43 in the third quarter here at Hughes Stadium on the campus of Sacramento City College. 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Marauders lead the Falcons by a score of 21-10. Falcons were able to get to this point with an interception by Logan Snyder. Great field position now in the red zone. 1st and 10. They have it on the Marauder 15. Tackled at the line of scrimmage. Ball pops loose. Recovered by the Marauders. No one's going to catch him. It's Spurbeck with the recovery and with the touchdown.
Yeah, that was number 71, Casey Riley, who got in there in the backfield, made that tackle, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that stripped the ball. And Thomas Spurbeck picked it up and showed us the speed that he has constantly showed us throughout this game. And it's a little scary to think that he just ran all the way the whole length of the field, and they're going to have to kick the ball away, and he's going to go right back to the safety position. Just the kid is just constantly moving. Somebody get that kid a Gatorade. He needs a drink for a second.
Boy, oh boy, Casey Riley delivered the hit, jarred the ball loose. He'll get credit for the forced fumble, but surprise, surprise, who picks it up? It's Thomas Spurbeck. Count it, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4 total touchdowns in the ball game. 1 passing, 2 rushing, and then now a defensive touchdown that goes 85 yards into the end zone. Mark it down as an 85-yard fumble recovery for the score. PAT is good, and now the Marauders have really opened things up. They lead this ball game 28-10.
Yeah, realistically, if you take Thomas Spurbeck off the Marauders, I don't think they have any points in this game. He scored every single point, or at least been involved in every single point that has been scored for this Marauders. Just overall, just like I said, just a huge weapon for the Marauders. If I'm any team, again, I'm very, very nervous anytime Spurbeck's on the field. He doesn't even have to have the ball in his possession. Him just being on the field is just a threat to any of the other teams.
Thomas Spurbeck getting a nice crowd ovation across the far side of the field. The student section yelling Thomas Spurbeck. Nice and loud and proud for their all-star player. He is the quarterback. He is the free safety for the Jesuit Marauders, and right now they have a 28-10 advantage. 2:07 left to play here in the third quarter at Hughes Stadium. Holy Bowl 43 now leaning in favor of the Marauders. They're trying to make it 3 in a row. The last time Christian Brothers defeated Jesuit was back in 2009. Ensuing kickoff taken by Jalen Walker. Walker makes a couple people miss, brings it down the near sideline, the 40, at the 50, drug out of bounds. No, he tight ropes it and goes for a couple more down around the Marauders' 35-yard line. Jalen Walker with a beautiful return.
Yeah, what a return there. He led all his blockers into the middle of the field, made a nice cut out to the outside, got to the outside quicker than anybody else, and got all the way down to their own 35, or excuse me, the opposing 35. Just great run back, just very good special teams play throughout the whole entire game by the Christian Brothers.
Jalen Walker with his best performance so far tonight. Takes that ball down to the Marauder 35-yard line. Christian Brothers with the football. Their offense out on the field. Quarterback Caden Noon lines up in the shotgun. Staley to his right hip pocket, throws it inside. That's Gray. Gray tackled around the 30. Several players come in and take him down. He'll get close to 5 yards on the reception.
Yeah, what a hit by Matthew Turnin there. He definitely stood in there and looked like a brick wall and just put that kid right on his back. Nice hit by Turnin.
Pass play goes for 5 yards. From Noon to Gray. 2nd down and 5. Left hash mark on the Marauder 30-yard line. Falcons with the football. Going right to left. Trying to get back in this ball game. They trail 28-10. Noon, option play, keeps it. And goes inside the 20-yard line. Coming up and making the tackle on the far side of the field was Steve Heath.
Yeah, that was a nice design quarterback keeper there by the Falcons. Kept the ball, gained 14 yards. That's exactly what they need to do. They need to get some points here if they want to stay in this game. Only a minute and 5 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
1st and 10. Following the rush play by the quarterback, Caden Noon. In the shotgun once again. Hands it off to Hart. Hart will go towards the near sideline now. Crosses the 10. Lowers his shoulder, tackled at the 5-yard line. Making the stop right there, I should say taking the blow, was Jason Ellenberger. That one goes for at least 13 yards on the ground.
I think besides a couple quarterback scampers and a couple options, that was their greatest running play that the Christian Brothers had. They had a good hole. He ran right through it, picked up the first down. That's a good play. They're going to need a couple more runs looking like that if they want to get on this board or get back on the board and get close into this game.
Coach Petrosons relays the play into the huddle. 1st and goal for Christian Brothers. Shotgun formation once again for Noon. Noon hands it off to the tailback, goes left side, spin move, still on his feet, drug down at the 4-yard line. Taking the carry was Austin Gillen. So now the clock winding down, 8 seconds, 7 seconds. That may do it for the third quarter unless Caden Noon gets this snap off. 2 seconds, 1 second, and that should do it. The officials blow the whistle. We've played 3 quarters here at Hughes Stadium on the campus of Sacramento City College. It's the Holy Bowl 43. We've got 1 quarter left to play. Jesuit 28, Christian Brothers 10. You're listening in and tuning in to PlayOnSports.com.
Do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here tonight? Tell your school to sign up for the Play On Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Thomas Spurbeck, not one of those players you really got to key in on, and right now he is the all-star in this football game. During our broadcast, folks, we'd like to remind you to stay tuned for our PlayOnSports.com Player of the Game. It follows our broadcast, and right now, Jason, if I were to pick anybody else, if the score stands, Spurbeck with 4 total touchdowns, he's having himself a game, a Holy Bowl game he will never forget.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely a Holy Bowl game indeed. He's out there on a grand scale for these high school kids out here at a city college stadium in front of 15,000 people, and he's just showing everybody what he's made of. Thomas Spurbeck, easily the player of the game at this moment right now.
Christian Brothers switches sides. They have the ball, 2nd down and goal, now moving left to right on your screen. They have it on the Marauders' 4-yard line. This is Noon keeping himself, going up the middle, falls forward for a touchdown. A 4-yard rushing score by Caden Noon.
Yeah, very good run right there. It looked like it was designed. I don't even know if he had any options to throw the ball or not, but he's seen a big hole, pulled it down, ran right through it, got some points up. That's exactly what they needed. They're down, if they get this, they'll be down 11 points.
And that is the first offensive touchdown in this ball game for Christian Brothers. It comes at the start of the fourth quarter. Witherspoon on to try the PAT. They fake it. Noon is the holder. Flicks it over to Witherspoon. Now he's in trouble. At the 10. Tackled at the 6.
That had to be the oddest two-point conversion I'd ever seen. Their whole entire line didn't move until about 2 seconds to the end of that play. That was definitely odd. I don't know what they were trying to do. It almost looked like maybe possibly they wanted to throw it back towards where all the linemen were for like a screen play, but I don't know what happened there. That was an odd two-point conversion play.
That puts the score at 28-16. 2-point try, no good. So a 12-point advantage for Jesuit here in the fourth quarter. 11 minutes and 54 seconds to go. And I just mentioned the first offensive touchdown of the night for Christian Brothers. It took them 4 quarters to do it, but they finally were able to punch it into the end zone. And it took them 5 plays. They had the ball on their opponent's 35-yard line, so 5 plays for 35 yards, capped off with a 4-yard rushing touchdown by Caden Noon.
Yeah, that whole drive was all around that just amazing kick return for positive yards. It got them all the way down to the 35. When you have a short field to work with, it's always a little bit easier to go down and get points than if you have to drive for, say, 75 yards. 35 is a little bit more manageable.
It was the special teams stud Jalen Walker who actually set up that offensive series, taking the ball down to the opposing 35. And now Hayden Jones will line up to kick the ball off.
It's a big boy.
Short kick, takes a bounce, taken at the 20. One of the Marauders actually gets their hand on it. That's Connor Frey at the 40.
Not a bad little return there. He didn't get ahead of himself. He let his blockers gain their position, stayed behind him, picked up a couple yards. That's a pretty solid special teams play there by Frey, excuse me.
It's one of the moves that you gamble with those squib kicks. You take your chance on possibly having it deflect off a couple players and getting the ball back, but if it doesn't work out, in this case, the opposing team gets the ball with great field position. Marauders with it at their own 40.
Yeah, I did a game last night where they did a couple of kicks and they were able to recover it there, so maybe that was something they were trying to do.
Spurbeck hands it up, straight ahead. And that's Periotti. He gains close to 4 yards on the ground. The last offensive series for Jesuit resulted in an interception. It was picked off by Logan Snyder. So Spurbeck, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 touchdown on defense with 1 interception in this ball game.
Man, looking at that crowd across the way, you would sure fool me telling me this is a high school football game.
I mean, it is absolutely insane. Over 15,000 on hand here at Holy Bowl 43. Spurbeck keeps the ball himself, tackle close to the 49-yard line. He'll get maybe 5 yards right here. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a quarterback keeper here in 3rd down, 3rd and short situations. They like to keep the ball in Spurbeck's hands, and I can see why. That kid's just so good. Anytime he touches the ball, he could either throw the ball to his receiver, pull it down, option it. The kid's got so many options. I would not be surprised if they keep the ball in his hand for this 3rd down.
3rd down for Jesuit, going right to left on your screen. Handoff, fullback dives straight ahead, past the 50 and picks up the 1st down. It appears that was Periotti, and he jumped a good 6 feet right there, enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, he did the nice little long jump into the sand pit there for the 1st down. Very good play. Seen that 1st down marker, seen what he needed to get, and he went out there and got it.
10 minutes, 15 seconds left to play here in the 4th quarter. Last season, Jesuit defeated Christian Brothers by a score of 36-12. As mentioned, they lead the all-time series 25 wins to 17 wins over Christian Brothers. Delayed handoff, far side, ball carrier takes it down to the 41, makes some nice moves. A gain of 8 on the ground.
That's John Sierra on the carry there. That's a couple times we've seen him, and anytime he's touched the ball, he's made a couple nice moves, that time getting positive yards.
Some very nice moves right there by Sierra. Keeping that clock rolling here. 9 minutes and 39 seconds left in the fourth. 28-16 our score. Jesuit on top.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing the Marauders want to do, is just keep running the ball, getting first downs, keeping that clock moving. They are ahead of this game. They just want that clock to keep on rolling.
Marauders with the football on the Falcon 41, going right to left. Spurbeck drilled in the backfield, but Perrietti came up with the football. He actually received the handoff, but that just shows you how much the defense keys in on Thomas Spurbeck. There were 2 defenders tackling Spurbeck in the backfield as he was handing the ball off to Perrietti.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't even the called play. He got wrapped up pretty quickly and just threw the ball right in his running back's chest and just told him to run with it. And Perrietti made a couple nice, did a nice job of shedding a couple blocks or a couple tackles and gained that first down. Nice play by the Marauders.
1st and 10, fresh set of downs for the Marauders. Another handoff goes left side. Different ball carrier this time. John Sierra getting some work here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, kid looks good with his side cuts. He's definitely pretty quick to jump to the left or right and make a couple people miss. We actually have him listed here as the senior, so senior getting in there trying to prove himself his last time going up against Christian Brothers.
12-point advantage for the Marauders here in the fourth quarter. 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining now in the fourth. 2nd down and 4. Whistles blow. Penalty flags thrown on the field. And we're going to have a false start against Jesuit.
That's a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 2nd and 9.
You take a look at Jesuit, their last Sac-Joaquin section title back in 2002. They defeated Lincoln 9-6. It was a field goal battle, and I'm saying that based upon the score, but 9-6. Their last title coming in 2002. Christian Brothers' last Sac-Joaquin section title all the way back in 1983. 2nd down and 9. This is Spurbeck. Falling forward along the right hash mark. Picks up about 6, maybe 5 on the ground. It'll bring up 3rd down. But to think that Christian Brothers, you date back all the way to 1983. They defeated Vintage 15-12 in overtime. This is a team, a school with such a large fan base, such a large support crew. You know, they're going to be right in it. This holy war, this holy bull that goes on between these two teams, it's going to continue for the end of time. It's such a great matchup that they have here in Sacramento.
Yeah, I agree.
3rd down, Spurbeck, right side, gets the first down, tackle just shy of the opposing 20. And right now, that defense looks awfully tired. Spurbeck, the rushing attack for the Marauders, keeping that ball on the ground. They continue to move the chains.
Yeah, not only is this big for all the kids on the field, but it's also big for both schools. This event being a huge sponsorship program for both schools. They bring in, and as far as I know, like half the gates and all that stuff, they go into making both schools a better place for all these kids.
2 great programs here in the Sacramento area. Jesuit out of Carmichael with the ball, 1st and 10. This one, another big gain, straight ahead, maybe 11 yards on the ground. That's Sierra, a different ball carrier. We've noticed quite a bit here in the fourth quarter, moving very nicely.
Yeah, it's always good to get a pair of fresh legs in there in the fourth quarter, especially when you got the lead and all you want to do is run. Bring in a guy that only seen the ball one time, I think, before this fourth quarter, and he's showing that you can put the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter and he'll be just fine. Doing a nice couple cuts, just constantly moving the ball.
2nd down and 2 for the Marauders. They started this drive on their own 40. They now have it on the Falcon 14. Spurbeck tripped up at the very last second. Coming up and making the tackle was Evan Cook. He sticks his hand out there. There's a flag down.
We have a holding on the offense.
So if there is, I guess, a a downside for the Marauders here tonight. Obviously, they put up some great points. Spurbeck having the game of his life. A lot of penalties here in this matchup.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of penalties. I wouldn't even call this the game of Spurbeck's life. Honestly, this kid is just constantly, he does this every week. I covered him last week. A kid had at least 3 to 4 touchdowns last week. This kid is the real deal out here for the Jesuit Marauders.
6:08 to go here in the fourth. Second down. Whistles blow again.
Again, small penalties for the Marauders. I'm not even guaranteed that this one's on the Marauders, but just a lot of small penalties by both schools. It is a false start on the Marauders, so again, another 5-yard penalty. Just tick-tacky little penalties there. Something that the coaches need to get on these kids about. You go into a school where they're close in this game, and those penalties are going to hurt them. Luckily, Jesuit has been pretty much blowing out. I wouldn't even say really a blowout, but keeping ahead enough to where these penalties aren't hurting them that bad.
12-point lead for Jesuit, 28-16 over Christian Brothers here in the fourth quarter. 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Second down and 13 following the penalty. Spurbeck lines up to fling it. Has a man, and that one's overthrown. He was looking for his target down the far side of the field, Steve Heath. Third down now. Some will question based upon the play right there. Jason, dare I say, rubbing a little bit of salt on the wound, throwing it in the corner of the end zone. Your take on the deep pass play?
Yeah, I agree. Pretty much what they tried to do there is they just been running the ball left and right, and I think they were just trying to catch the defense off guard. He just put a little bit too much mustard on that one, and got away from his wide receiver. But obviously, seeing as they pass it there, I would not doubt it that they pass it again here on a 3rd and long.
Well, it stops the clock at 5:35. Whistles blow. Coach Blanton now on the field, and he will call a timeout. The Marauders have burned 2 timeouts. They have 1 remaining. Falcons have used 1 timeout. They have 2 remaining here in the second half. 28-16, Jesuit.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Jason Patterson joined to my right side. I'm Sean Hennessy, folks. We're broadcasting to you live from Hughes Stadium on the campus of Sacramento City College. A beautiful evening here for some high school football. It's the Holy Bowl, number 43, dating back to the 1970s. Holy Bowl number 43. Christian Brothers has won 17 of the matchups. Jesuit has won 25. They have a 2-game win streak, trying to make it 3 in a row. Over 15,000 on hand here this evening. An incredible turnout. One of the biggest games, one of the biggest rivalries in Northern California. A jam-packed house. Third down following the timeout. Spurbeck with some last-second instructions to his running back, John Sierra. Sierra lines up as a flanker this time over towards the left side. Trips formation to the left. Spurbeck directly under center. 1 back behind him. Option play. And it's actually going to be an end-around pass. Complete. But goes for next to nothing. Andrew Augustine comes up with the reception. And I've got to wonder for a second if he's an eligible receiver. We'll wait to see what the flag is on the field.
Yeah, I don't know what they try to do. There is a trickery play called there. Normally you save that for when you're down and out, not when you're leading the game late in the fourth quarter. But interesting call. They even called the timeout there to call that play. Definitely an interesting call. So we have an illegal participation there by the Marauders.
An eligible man downfield. I was saying to myself when again.
Pretty sure I seen an offensive lineman jump early there for the Marauders. And I am correct. Another small penalty. We're looking at 4th and long. 4th and 23 to be exact. We're looking almost like an NFL blitz game here with a huge number to get for the first down. Just small penalties by the Marauders, something they definitely need to look into before they reach the playoffs. because I'm telling you, the way these Marauders are playing, I'm positive I'll see these kids come playoff time. We actually have a player down from Christian Brothers.
Injured player down on the field. It looks like it's Brendan Gormley, one of the safeties, perhaps cramping up. Last we checked the weather monitor, it was hovering around 75 degrees. It was around 91 at kickoff, so it's gone down considerably. Next week, Jesuit will be at Franklin. That game in Elk Grove, California. If the score holds, Jesuit will not only win 3 in a row here in the Holy Bowl, but they will advance to 3-0 on the season. If the hold stands, or I should say the score stands, Christian Brothers will fall to 3-1 on the season, and their next matchup will be at Whitney. That game at Wildcat Stadium in Rocklin, California.
Yeah, looking here at the Jesuit schedule, if they keep this win or keep this up and go home with the win, they're going to go at 3-0 and have yet to play at home. It's all been on the road, which is solid play. If you ask me, to go into an opposing team's field and go home with W's is always a difficult thing in any level of football.
And you glance at Jesuit's schedule, and I highlight one of the games down there on October 13th against Folsom. Folsom, one of those schools with such a high-powered offense. I actually called their state bowl championship game a couple of years back where they knocked off Sarah of Gardena, California. That game played at the Home Depot Center. And I can tell you, Folsom was a heavy underdog coming into that matchup. Why? Because they went up against a Sarah squad that featured Marquise Lee, the star wide receiver who's also accompanied with Robert Woods for the University of Southern California. They had an incredible squad, and Folsom knocked off Sarah. So that should be a great matchup. Folsom versus Jesuit on October 13th. 4th down, nowhere to go. Christian Brothers sniffs that play out. Making the tackle was Brandon Thompson. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, good play by the defense there. They were able to get back there and wrap Thomas Spurbeck up, stopped him from making a run, and he tried to do an option out to his running back, and they sniffed that out too. Just an overall great play by the Christian Brother defense. Like I said, besides a couple of big plays by Thomas Spurbeck, the Christian Brothers defense have been holding fairly well. I mean, looking pretty good. I think if they got a little bit of help from their offense, the Christian Brothers would be right in this game.
4 minutes and 51 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Christian Brothers with the football. They trail 28-16. Pass play deflected, bobbled by the receiver. That's Walker, who could not bring it in. And providing the coverage right there and the pressure was Jacob Rice. Incomplete.
Yeah, Christian Brothers are definitely going to have to go down and get some points up. We have 4 minutes, 47 seconds to go in this game, and they are trailing 12 points, so definitely have to get a touchdown. Even if they got a touchdown or an extra point or a 2-point, they'd still be down too many points, so they're going to need 2 scores here.
Deep pass down the middle, intended for Hayden Jones, the tight end. Incomplete pass, but there is a flag down.
I'm guessing we have a pass interference. It looks like it's out there over here on the 50, about right where the ball was thrown. Let's see what the refs call.
And Jones, a junior, at 6'6", 235. Mark his name down for next season. He'll be one of those big senior leaders. It'll be interesting to see if he's one of those guys that has some D1 colleges looking at him with his size, his weight, a perfect tight end.
Yeah, he's a big boy, listed as 6'6", a couple 100 pounds. That's a big target for any high school quarterback. 6'6", man, he could go into a college. Oh man, I can't think of the word. He could go to any college and be an automatic weapon.
Penalty goes against the Marauders. Moves the chains for Christian Brothers. Zachary Brooks with the reception in the backfield, but he's tripped up and has nowhere to go. Heath coming in and making a nice play. Accompanying him was also Jason Ellenberger.
I'm a little surprised by the Christian Brothers play call here. They tried a wide receiver screen and then another little small play out there for a couple of yards. They need to score with little time left on the clock. 2 scores needed to get back in this game.
4:19 to go in the 4th. Pass play goes towards the far side of the field. That's the big tight end. Hayden Jones lowers his shoulder and picks up close to 20 yards through the air.
Yeah, he's a big boy, man. 6'6", he's towering over me. He's bigger than anybody out there on the field. If I'm Noon, I'm just going to throw the ball up and let that guy go up there and get it. He's a big, big boy.
I'm almost shocked they didn't do that a little bit more in this ballgame.
Yeah, I agree. Him coming across the middle is a huge target for Noon.
3 wide receivers towards the right for Noon. He fires towards Jones again, and he brings it in. It's a mismatch right now as Tyler Marshall is having to cover Hayden Jones. Marshall stands at 5'11", 175. He's trying to cover Jones, who's 6'6".
Yeah, that's a big mismatch, and they're obviously taking advantage of that here late in the fourth quarter, something that they probably should have looked at before now, but let's see if they can't keep using it and get some points up.
1st and 10, ball carrier takes it left side. Getting late in the game, voice is slurring a little bit, but the ball carrier takes it left side, tackled inbounds, flag is thrown. 3:36 on the game clock here in the fourth quarter. We have a face mask against the defense.
There's a lot of penalties on the Marauders throughout this entire game, Sean, I've noticed. That's one thing they're going to have to look at if they want to continue winning. They are undefeated currently at the moment, but if they want to keep that goose egg up on the lost side of the column, they're going to have to watch their penalties throughout these games.
1st and goal for Christian Brothers. Following the face mask penalty, a personal foul variety. It's 1st and goal. Austin Hart lined up next to Noon in the shotgun. Over along the left side, option play. Noon flicks it to him. And Austin tackled inside the 5. That's Austin Hart trying to tightrope that far sideline, tackled at the 3. 2nd down and goal upcoming.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't try to get out of bounds there and stop the clock. He decided to make a spin move and went back in, and it kept the clock moving, and it took off at least another 30 seconds off the clock. That might cost him there come the end of this game.
Under 3 minutes to play. Noon pump fakes left, throws near side corner, jump ball, nobody there. He was looking for Jalen Walker, who was double covered. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I don't even know if he even looked that way. That was just obviously a design fade play. He just threw it up right away. I don't even know if he made the complete look because he was double covered very nicely. If he would have looked across the middle, he would have seen his big 6'6" tight end standing there with his hand up in the end zone.
And that was Kelly and Spurbeck providing the coverage along the near sideline. They did not bite on the pump fake.
If you give me a 6'6" tight end in the red zone, I'm definitely looking his way every play.
Whistles blow. Officials come together around the 5-yard line. No call on the field.
Big 3rd down for Christian Brothers.
2:48 left to play in the 4th. 3rd and goal. Noon checks things over towards his right. He has 2 wide receivers to the right. Keeps it himself. Goes straight ahead. Tackled in the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown for Caden Noon. Caden Noon picks up his 2nd rushing score in the ballgame in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, that was a big, big play by the Falcons. They needed that. They needed to get points on the board. And it gets this crowd right back into it. And they have 2 timeouts left here for Christian Brothers. So let's see what they do here with 2 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in this game. I don't know if they're going to kick the ball to them, maybe onside-it. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see what they call here.
Witherspoon lines up for the PAT. Splits the uprights. It's good. So now the score reads 28-23 with 2:45 to go in the 4th quarter. Hold on to your hats. Totally different ball game. Christian Brothers not going away lightly. Yeah. They trailed at one point 28-10, and now, Jason, they find themselves marching back in this ball game. They trail 28-23. It's a 1-score game.
They definitely have been hanging around the entire game, just not going away, despite great, great play by the Marauders and Thomas Spurbeck. They just have not let anything get them down. They've kept their heads up and kept moving forward, and it shows only down 5 now here with 2 minutes, 45 seconds to go in the game. Christian Brothers obviously trying to get momentum completely on their side. They need a big 3 and out here to get the ball back in their offense's hands and see if they can't go down and put up the winning score to get out of here with their first win in a couple years in the Holy Bowl.
Okay, here you go. Question, 2:45 left in the ball game. Your team trails 28-23. You've got 2 timeouts in your pocket. Jesuit's going to get the football here. Do you dare go for the onside kick at this point and try to get that ball back with 2:45 to go?
To be honest, with Thomas Spurbeck under center, I'm definitely trying some sort of trickery. I don't want him to have the ball. Him and Perrietti and even Sierra has looked good this quarter. That's a little dangerous with 2 minutes 45 seconds to go, and I think they are going to pull off some trickery here.
Here comes the shift. Jones with the PAT try. I beg your pardon. It's the onside kick try. Recovered nicely by Jesuit as Tyler Marshall falls on the football.
Yeah, that was big for the Marauders. They definitely needed to get that. Very nice place kick, though, by the place kicker. I'm not going to lie. That was fairly good executed onside kick. Just a good play by Tyler Marshall to get on the ball and wrap that up and definitely try to see if Spurbeck can't waste this clock out and they go home with a W.
Well, keep in mind, Christian Brothers has 2 timeouts left in this ball game. If they can stop Jesuit here, they may have a shot at getting the ball back with under a minute remaining in this ball game. They've got to stop him here, though, in this offensive series. 1st and 10 for Jesuit, going right to left. Spurbeck hands it off to the fullback, who goes right side. Appears to be Perrietti. He goes for a gain of 3.
That's exactly what they want to do. 3 yards is the number that you want to give up on a run play. Three 3-yard runs equals only 9 yards, and that's a punt. So that's exactly as many yards as they want to give up there for the Christian Brothers Falcons. Let's see if they can't do it again.
So head coach Petrosans opts to keep the timeouts in his pocket. He has 2. Clock rolls, 2:10 to go. I'd be shocked if they were to stop the ball carrier here and not call a timeout. This one goes straight ahead. Sierra gets the call. And Spurbeck injured a little bit on that play, hobbling now as he's up to his feet. Clock is stopped at 2:01.
Oh, that's not good if Spurbeck's injured. He's trying as hard as he can to stay in the game, but it looks like he's going to have to come off for at least the play. Kid's got a big heart. Hopefully his knee's okay. He was down there holding it on the ground. That was just great penetration by Christian Brothers. Like I said, with that weapon in the backfield, they're just constantly going after him, and he got taken down there even after giving off the play to his running back. Hopefully he's okay.
Each team now with 1 timeout remaining in this ball game as Jason Ellenberger comes in to replace Spurbeck. He'll have to sit out a play. I think the officials actually asked him to go towards the sideline or his home sideline on the visitor side. So each team now with 1 timeout left in the ball game. 2 minutes and 1 second left to play here in the 4th quarter. 5-point game in favor of Jesuit. They're holding on to a 5-point lead. They led this game earlier on in the 3rd quarter, 28-10. But just like late in the first half, Christian Brothers has marched back late in the second half, and they've closed the gap. It's 28-23. Christian Brothers defense putting their hands in the air, trying to get these.
This is a big 3rd down.
Trying to get these Falcon fans excited. 3rd down and 3. Perrietti, right side, gets the 1st down, lowers his shoulder, dragging defenders past the opposing 40.
Yeah, that was huge 1st down there.
Huge.
I thought maybe the Falcons might have had a nice little edge there with Spurbeck going out for a play. But the backup quarterback came in and delivered a nice little handoff to his running back and got that 1st down. That's a good play by Ellenberger to get in there and get that ball into his running back's hands.
1 minute and 40 seconds marching away on that game clock. Only 1 timeout remaining for Christian Brothers. They need something here. They need a fumble. They need a strip as it's 1st and 10 for the Marauders on the Falcon 40. New quarterback in the ballgame. That's Ellenberger, who took the snap.
That's going to be a personal foul on Christian Brothers. He definitely did a little bit of extra, threw down the backup quarterback there. Ellenberger took a nice hit, and he's being held back by his offensive line right now. He's got a couple words for that Christian Brothers guy. We're definitely going to see a personal foul, roughing the passer on the Falcons.
And you just can't do that. You just can't do that at this point in the ball game.
The referee just threw his white hat in the air. I don't quite know what that means, but he definitely did that with intent.
Sideline warning. He's indicating it is a sideline warning for the Christian Brothers sideline.
Looks like everybody's getting a little heated here towards the end. That first down they gave up obviously tested a couple bits of patience there for anybody on the Christian Brothers side of the ball. They're starting to realize that they're probably going to go home with a loss here since they gave up that first down. And we do have a timeout by Christian Brothers.
So Christian Brothers now out of timeouts. They've burned all 3 here in the second half. Jesuit has 1 timeout remaining. But it's a sideline warning. It's a personal foul. And what does that do? It gives Jesuit a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. You just can't do that at this point in the ballgame.
Yeah, if you're Coach Petrosants, what are you telling your kids over there on the sideline right now with 1 minute and 23 seconds to go down in this game on 1st and 10 too? What are you telling them on this timeout?
You know, at this point, he's gathered his kids around the 23-yard line, and you've got to imagine that Jesuit, with 1:23 to go, 1st and 10, they could take a knee really at this point and just burn it down.
Yeah, I believe it's a 40-second play clock, and that means we got 2 plays, so I would not be surprised if they're in victory formation here.
Christian Brothers played hard all the way through.
One thing I do want to point out, though, is Spurbeck is still not out there taking snaps. Hopefully that kid's okay. That's one thing that'll be big if the Marauders end up losing him. And they are actually, it looks like, going to run a play.
Ellenberger under center, backup quarterback in. Straight dive to the fullback, that's Parietti. Gains 4 yards straight ahead, clock will roll. Christian Brothers cannot stop it. 1:10 left to play in the 4th.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually ran the ball there and took the chance of a fumble or anything. If you ask me to call a play here, I'm calling that victory knee, calling them 2 in a row, and I'm going home with the W. I'm not taking any chance on a miss handoff or a strip ball or anything. I'm a little surprised by the play call. We do have a deep back here, number 21, so obviously they are going to take a knee here. So that will do it. They're going to take it all the way down as far as they can.
Victory formation on the field for Jesuit. 37 seconds to go. The clock continues to roll. The Falcons cannot stop the clock. They're all out of timeouts. Jesuit fans on the opposite sideline standing up, applauding their team as they're going to make it 3 in a row. 3 Holy Bowl victories over their rivals, Christian Brothers. When you look down at the 50-yard line, the Jesuit players gathering, shaking each other's hands, slapping each other on the helmet. It's like a bowl game. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. It really is. It's called the Holy Bowl for a reason. They're getting ready to come slap hands and tell everybody good game. I'm a little interested to see Thomas Spurbeck and see how he walks across this field. I'm looking for that 1-5 out there. I'm hoping he's okay.
That's going to do it, folks. Holy Bowl 43 in the books. Jesuit does it for the 3rd straight time. They knock off Christian Brothers 28-23. What a ball game here at Hughes Stadium at Sacramento City College. Folks, we're going to take a short break. Jason and myself are going to gather some stats. When we come back, we're going to have our post-game show, but before that, we're actually going to have a player of the game interview, a live player of the game interview, and that's all coming up, the announcement shortly, right here on PlayOnSports.com. Once again, final score, Jesuit 28, Christian Brothers 23. You're tuning in to PlayOnSports.com.
We can get a player up here.
Oh, that's good stuff.
All right, perfect. Prepare a Wiley Ballard graphic.
Do you want me to start the stream?
Start the stream. Camera 3. Beautiful. We're coming in on 1. For more information on how your school can join the Play On School broadcast program, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
4th and 10 from the 41-yard line for St. Augustine. Kennedy dropping back to pass. Looking left, firing, incomplete, intended for Noland. No penalty flags on the field. Mar Vista will take over on downs, and Jordan Lertique will take that knee. And the Mar Vista Mariners knock off the number 2 seeded St. Augustine Saints at Mesa College and a dominating performance on both sides of the football for Mar Vista. They trailed 14-0 and came back.
Again, down 2-0, facing adversity, and they've really just turned the table around since game number 3. Set an attack, great block made back inside the Maverick zone. A chance there by Bosback back inside the Maverick zone. Ball attacked there by Bosback. A second opportunity by Bosback. Lip violation call. Winner. It's over the neck call. Oh my goodness! Bosback reached over on the attack. A Maverick error wraps up the title for the Presentation Panthers. A 15-9 victory in game number 5, and they wrap it up coming back from 2-0 down match-wise and take it 3-2.
36-35 and driving, and oh, baby! Shrigley with the jam, and it was with emphasis. And it's the foul, and listen to these fans.
Do you know who's standing up right behind us? Tony Bland, who is the head recruiter for San Diego State. I think he's drooling. Somebody get that man a napkin.
Quick score on this drive. There goes a handoff to Zeller, trying to go straight ahead, but he is met by Wall. Now he breaks out to the outside, gets across the 30, 35, on the right, 40, midfield. He's running down the sidelines. He's going to go all the way as he's at the 10, 5, touchdown. Patrick Zeller stood up at the line of scrimmage and broke out to his left to the far sidelines, and he was in a foot race, and he went all the way for the touchdown. Broke a tackle and made it nice and showed his speed as he got outside for the touchdown.
Back in the backfield to the left is Campbell. Hernandez takes the snap, play action to Campbell. Looks down the field. Now here comes the pressure. He's going to be hit. He breaks the tackle, rolls left. Now he's going to cut upfield. He's going to break another tackle, and then another tackle down the sideline. Gets a block inside the 5. What a touchdown!
Holy Bowl 43 in the books. Jesuit does it for the 3rd straight time. They knock off Christian Brothers by a final score of 28-23. Our player of the game, our PlayOnSports.com player of the game, who else? Thomas Spurbeck with 4 total touchdowns in the ball game. He is down on the field right now amongst his teammates at the 50-yard line, getting his MVP honors. Members of the United States Marine Corps down on the field, handing out a plaque of some sort for the winners of this great rivalry game. And how about this? Christian Brothers now down on the field around the 40-yard line, taking a knee, showing their respect to their arch rivals. Folks, we welcome you into this point. It's our PlayOnSports.com post-game show. Jason Patterson joined alongside me. I'm Sean Hennessy. As mentioned, Thomas Spurbeck, our PlayOnSports.com player of the game. He's down on the field. He's actually hobbling a little bit, and due to the time frame right now at 10:33 p.m. here on the West Coast, he will stay down on the field, but doesn't mean we can't talk about him a little bit here, Jason. He had a performance of a lifetime. He's going to remember this game. He's a senior. MVP award tonight, 4 total touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing scores, and 1 fumble recovery on defense for a touchdown. I mean, this kid really was the spark plug for Jesuit.
Yeah, he definitely knew that he was going to come out and perform in front of a crowd of 15,000 plus, and he came out ready to go. He had his big boy shoes on, and he was ready to go. He definitely made a couple great plays. Just a great football mind, like I pointed out earlier, with his dad being the head coach at Sac State. Just overall great play by Thomas Spurbeck. Just an amazing player. Definitely interested to see any games that I get to cover with Jesuit playing, because I'm a fan now of Thomas Spurbeck.
And you had a chance to actually see him last weekend versus El Camino. He came up to your guys' broadcast booth. He was your player of the game. And he's such a nice kid. He talks about his offensive line a lot, something you were mentioning to me before the broadcast. He really thanks his supporting cast for what they're able to do for him.
Yeah, the kid's a real class act. He knows this is a team sport. There's no I in team. Even though the coach obviously always puts the ball in his hands and just the whole team on his shoulders, he's still a very class act and knows that without his offensive line providing those holes, he has nowhere to run with that football. And just overall, just like I said, just a real class act, that kid. I'm not going to be surprised if you hear Thomas Spurbeck's name from years to come. Coming Sunday mornings, I wouldn't be surprised you hear Thomas Spurbeck over your TV sets.
Holy Bull 43 goes to Jesuit. They capture their 26th victory, all-time victory over Christian Brothers here in Holy Bull 43, and that makes it 3 straight over Christian Brothers. You're listening in to the PlayOnSports.com post-game show. We're at Hughes Stadium on the campus of Sacramento City College. Once again, final score 28-23 in favor of Jesuit. You go back in that first half, and it wasn't until the end of the second quarter where Christian Brothers started to come back in the ballgame. They started that offensive surge, and then they actually used that special team surge to put the score at 14-10 going into the half. Then they start the third quarter, give up 2 big touchdowns to Thomas Spurbeck. One was a rushing score. The other was on defense for Spurbeck. They do the same thing that they did in the second quarter. In the fourth quarter, they come back late. My point being, they started their rush. They started their momentum drive just too late in this ball game. You look at that final score, just 5 points separated this team. You got to ask, what if? What if they did something different to spark that surge a little bit earlier?
Yeah, they're going to need a sense of urgency there and earlier in the game to figure out that they need to get moving and keep that motor just running. Basically, what had happened was they just waited too long to get the ball moving, maybe shake off the cobwebs. From the way it looks, Christian Brothers would love to have a no halftime game and just come in, play the first quarter all the way through the fourth, and maybe they would keep it going, because it obviously showed that they needed a whole quarter just to get the cobwebs off from starting the game and coming out of halftime.
15,000 making their way out of Hughes Stadium into the parking lot. What a ball game. Final score 28-23. Jesuit knocks off Christian Brothers. Next week, Jesuit will take on Franklin. That game at Elk Grove, California. Jesuit now moves to 3-0 on the season. As for Christian Brothers, they suffer their first loss on the year. They move to 3-1, and they'll take on Whitney. That game at Wildcat Stadium up in Rockland, California. So Christian Brothers suffer their first loss on the season. Some positive takeaways that we can talk about for Christian Brothers. They didn't get their first offensive touchdowns until the fourth quarter. It was Caden Noon who punched in 2 in the fourth quarter. But special teams look pretty good here tonight for Christian Brothers.
Yeah, not only special teams, but I'd have to say defense as well. Like I said, I covered the game last week, Jesuits game, and they were just running the ball all over the El Camino Eagles. And the Christian Brothers was here to they were easily able to slide down and just stop a couple runs. They weren't allowing too many yards, right away. Just good defensive play by Christian Brothers. Like you said, the special teams touchdown. I think the only thing they have to work on is just getting that offense moving and getting those points on the board, because to wait all the way into the fourth quarter to get your first offensive touchdown is never a good thing. Offense is what scores your points. Defense is what stops them from scoring. So you definitely don't want to switch those roles around.
And they had Christian Brothers had 2 turnovers in this ball game. They had an interception that was picked off by Austin Gates, and then of course they had that fumble which was scooped up by Spurbeck. 2 big turnovers. You look back at this ball game, 2-5 years from now, and that's why you always ask that question, what if? What if we didn't commit those turnovers? What if we had that surge going sooner? It's only 5 points separated these 2 teams, and a lot of the media outlets, a lot of the Sacramento high school pundits said, you know what? Jesuit is a far superior team, a far more athletic team. They have a much larger roster. There's no reason why they shouldn't blow these guys out of the water, but yet Christian Brothers stood in there and only lost by 5 points here tonight.
Yeah, they hung around, and I definitely think the Jesuit Marauders penalties kept the Christian Brothers in the game, but Christian Brothers just could not take advantage of a couple penalties that were given to them. Just overall just came a little bit short, only lost by 5 points. Still, I'd say if I'm Christian Brothers, I'm going home with my head held high to know that we definitely did not give up when there are teams that would give up being down so many and giving up so many big plays to one specific person. That's definitely disheartening in a team, and they stuck in there and kept their heads up, and it made it an interesting game, especially when even all of us up here thought that the game was going to be just a blowout come at one point. They stuck in there, got some points, kept it a little bit close. So I'd be happy if I'm Christian Brothers and I'm going into Whitney next week. I think they can do just fine.
28-23, Jesuit knocks off Christian Brothers. Last question of the night, Jason, before we wrap up shop here at Hughes Stadium. The last Sac-Joaquin section title for the Marauders came back in 2002. This team has a lot of athleticism. They have a great quarterback. They've got a solid defense. Can this team do it? Can this team, do they have the right personnel together to make that run for a Sac-Joaquin section title? What do you think?
I think they definitely do have the right tools in all the right positions. As long as Thomas Spurbeck isn't hurt very badly from what he had there late in the fourth quarter, if that knee injury is not anything serious, I see Thomas Spurbeck leading these Marauders to as far as he wants to take them. That kid is just, anything he wants to do, he can do. He plays both sides of the ball, just solid on offense, solid on defense. You know, he's getting fumble recoveries for touchdowns. He's taking scampers to the end zone. That kid just does it all, and I think he'll take his team wherever he wants to go.
Well said. I'd like to thank my videographer, Timothy King. My producer this evening was Nathan Schimmel. My analyst, Jason Patterson. I'm Sean Hennessy. Once again, final score, Jesuit 28, Christian Brothers 23. Holy Bowl 43 in the books. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you next week right here on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. Good night.